Chapter 227. Time flew by. 1 month after Qin Yu stepped into the chaotic astral ocean. In the chaotic astral ocean's monstrous waves, a black figure was easily shuttling back and forth. The waves simply couldn't affect him in the slightest. Roar! At the same time, a flood dragon emerged from the bottom of the sea and soared into the sky. The surrounding ferocious beasts all kept quiet out of fear. The world of the ferocious beasts was the world of the strong. Ferocious beasts would only become more intelligent when they reached the crossing calamity stage. Only when they reached the Deshang stage would they be comparable to ordinary people. Most of the ferocious beasts had low intelligence, so they were even more submissive to the strong. Not long after the flood dragon roared, none of the surrounding ferocious beasts dared to make a sound. They all quietly swam around. I can't even detect its soul realm. It should be a Deshang stage beast. When Qin Yu saw the ferocious flood dragon beast, he couldn't help but feel happy. The flood dragon beast's blood-red eyes swept around. When it saw that the other beasts were so afraid that they didn't dare to make a sound, it couldn't help but feel proud. However, it only took a moment for it to become angry. Its blood-red eyes stared at the black figure in front of it. "You're a cultivator?" Killing intent appeared in the flood dragon's eyes. At the same time, its deep voice resounded between heaven and earth. The huge waves of the chaotic astral ocean simply couldn't cover up the flood dragon's voice. "Cultivator? Sort of." Qin Yu smiled and nodded. To ferocious beasts, anything that was not a ferocious beast was an enemy. Even demonic beasts were not recognized by ferocious beasts. After all, demonic beasts were more intelligent than them, and their cultivation methods were also different. In the eyes of ferocious beasts, those who were not ferocious beasts were all called cultivators. Cultivators were what all the ferocious beasts wanted to kill the most. "Cultivator, haha. You actually dared to come to the chaotic astral ocean. Oh, not bad. Your soul realm is almost at the late stage of the passing calamity stage, almost at the Deshang stage. But Xiationists, you should know that the strength of us ferocious beasts is about the same as that of divine beasts. I am a ferocious beast at the Deshang stage, which is equivalent to a divine beast at the Deshang stage. As for you, you are not even a Deshang stage cultivator. Therefore, you will definitely die," the flood dragon beast said proudly. Even a Deshang stage cultivator was generally not a match for a divine beast of the same level. The flood dragon's confidence was not without reason. A smile appeared on Qin Yu's face. Interesting indeed. It was said that the intelligence of a Deshang stage beast was equal to that of a normal person. It seemed to be true. "I've met many ferocious beasts, but you're the first one to talk so much. You dare speak to me in such a manner? You have a death wish." The WYRM was enraged. Instantly, its tail swung and it transformed into a blur to appear beside Qin Yu. Qin Yu's eyes flashed. The Lord of Black Flame's ring. Gravity domain. The flood dragon beast felt as if it was suddenly pressed down by a mountain. The unprepared flood dragon beast's movements suddenly changed, and it couldn't help but fall. With Qin Yu's current strength, the gravity field was indeed very powerful. However, as a Deshang stage ferocious beast, the flood dragon ferocious beast could still withstand it. This gravity field would definitely not be able to hurt the flood dragon ferocious beast. However, I don't want to hurt him. I just need an opportunity. The corners of Qin Yu's mouth curled up, and he finally moved. The moment the aquatic dragon fera beast is pressed down by the gravity field without any preparation, Qin Yu moves. He moved as fast as lightning. As a Deshang stage ferocious beast, the flood dragon beast's reaction was certainly fast. When it fell a short distance, it was out of the gravity field. Seeing Qin Yu coming, the flood dragon beast immediately stared coldly at Qin Yu. "Cultivator, come and die." The flood dragon's voice rang in Qin Yu's mind. It was the soul sense transmission. However, Qin Yu had a meaningful smile on his face at the moment, which made the flood dragon beast feel a chill in its heart. "Humph, a cultivator who hasn't reached the Deshang stage. As a Deshang stage ferocious beast, how can I be afraid of him?" The flood dragon beast comforted itself, and at the same time, focused all its attention on dealing with Qin Yu. Soon, Qin Yu arrived. The moment Qin Yu gets close to the flood dragon ferocious beast. The flood dragon beast's best preparation for battle was destroyed. It felt as if it was smashed by a mountain from above. The flood dragon beast fell down. The Lord of Black Flames ring. Gravity field. Qin Yu activated the gravity field again at the last moment when he was close to the flood dragon. Puchi. Qin Yu's short sword directly slashed at the flood dragon's abdomen. Because the flood dragon beast was affected by the gravity field at the beginning, its movement was distorted. Qin Yu grabbed the empty space and blood flowed out from its abdomen. Roar. The aquatic dragon Ferabeast roars angrily. The crazy aquatic dragon Ferabeast does not care about anything else. It makes a claw grab at Qin Yu directly to kill him. However, Qin Yu treats the aquatic dragon's claw as if it is nothing. Puchi. Qin Yu's body was as hard as steel and as flexible as snow silk. The flood dragon's claw only left a wound on Qin Yu's body. What was more shocking was that the 10-inch long wound was completely healed in the blink of an eye. The flood dragon beast was also dumbfounded when it saw this scene. The moment the flood dragon beast hurt Qin Yu also made a killing move. Break. With a cold expression, Qin Yu formed a seal with both hands and shouted coldly. The middle-grade immortal short sword turned into a ray of light and pierced through the flood dragon beast's abdomen. Then, it directly pierced through the flood dragon beast's head. The heaven-sundering sword energy contained in the short sword shot out and strangled the flood dragon beast's soul. Just by using the gravity field and my body, I managed to kill a Deshang. I was able to kill a Deshang stage Ferabeast. Deshang stage Ferabeasts are perhaps comparable to 5th or 6th Tribulation loose immortals. Qin Yu grabs the Niden and gives an indifferent smile. A 3rd Tribulation loose immortal is equivalent to an ordinary Deshang stage Xiaoxianist. A Deshang stage flood dragon ferocious beast is about 10 times stronger than an ordinary Deshang stage Xiaoxianist. It is not wrong to say that a Deshang stage ferocious beast is equivalent to a 5th or 6th Tribulation loose immortal. Qin Yu was able to kill the flood dragon beast because of his strong body and terrifying recovery ability. The gravity field, which appeared and disappeared suddenly and caused the enemy to be at a loss, was also very important. Moreover, the middle-grade immortal weapon with astonishing attack power was another reason. With these 3 factors combined, it was normal for this Deshang stage flood dragon ferocious beast to be killed. If I can refine the inner core of this Deshang stage ferocious beast, I should be able to reach the middle Dujie stage. Qin Yu calculated in his mind. Good, today's mission is over. Let's get ready to refine it. Qin Yu smiled and suddenly dived into the chaotic astral ocean, going straight to the bottom of the ocean. The chaotic astral ocean is much deeper than an ordinary ocean. Now that Qin Yu's body is extremely strong, Qin Yu directly dived several tens of thousands of meters into the ocean. This is a dark canyon where sunlight cannot shine in at all. Only some special luminous plants emit some faint light. Qin Yu controlled the elemental holy essence. With a thought, a huge palace appeared on the bottom of the ocean. Qin Yu himself naturally entered the palace with ease. He saw that the huge palace emitting blue light unexpectedly turned into a very ordinary underwater mountain range in an instant, no different from any other underwater mountain range. Inside the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion, sitting on a deck chair in the back garden, Qin Yu drank a cup of Immortal Dew spring water and said to himself, Qin Yu Immortal Mansion's defensive formation restriction is really not bad. Just the most basic illusory restriction is already very good. Not many people can see through the illusory restrictions set up by Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. Even though the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion is big, compared to the almost boundless area of the chaotic astral ocean, it is simply negligible. It can be placed in any underwater canyon or in the crevice of an underwater mountain range. Coupled with the illusory restriction, basically no one can see through it. After drinking the Immortal Dew spring water, Qin Yu sat down cross-legged in the middle of the back garden. Qin Yu began to refine the inner core of the Deshang stage ferocious beast. In Qin Yu's Dantian, the core of the planet, the solar core, is a flame in the center. That is Qin Yu's star true fire. At this moment, the star true fire has completely turned into a purple heavenly flame. As Qin Yu's power increases, the solar core also gradually becomes bigger. More and more parts of the planet in Qin Yu's Dantian become the solar core. The Dujie stage is the process in which the solar core becomes pure. After absorbing it for half a month, Qin Yu finally completely refined and absorbed it. Qin Yu felt his power and cultivation level and could not help but not know whether to laugh or cry. The Dujie stage is mainly to cultivate the solar core. At the same time, the flames of the solar core automatically temper the body. The Dujie stage is very difficult to cultivate. The solar core not only has to absorb more energy to make it bigger, it also has to be purified to make the energy even purer. Qin Yu now has enough energy, but it will take some time to purify it. Originally, he thought that he would be able to reach the middle stage of the Dujie stage, but now, he is only at the peak of the early stage of the Dujie stage. Reaching the middle stage of the Dujie stage means that he will soon face the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. The Dujie stage of the stellar transformations is really too hard to cultivate. The inner core of a Dashang stage vicious beast is so powerful. If an ordinary cultivator were to use it, they would be able to reach the late stage of the Dujie stage or even higher. The refining efficiency of the solar core is really not that good. Qin Yu felt somewhat helpless. And at this moment, okay. Qin Yu's heart moved and he took out the transmission talisman. Big brother, it's Fei. Mixed Hairbird and I have already left that mysterious place, but we can't go back yet. Because our 9 from 9th heaven tribulation is coming soon. 9 from 9th heaven tribulation? Qin Yu immediately smiled. Some time ago, there was news that Fei and Xiao He had reached the early stage of the Dujie stage. Now, preparing to face the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation was not impossible. I don't know what mysterious place Uncle Lon sent them to. Qin Yu was secretly puzzled. At the same time, he sent the transmission talisman. Fei, Xiao He, you have to be careful of the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. According to my master's message, the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation is the most difficult to pass. The more powerful you are, the more ridiculous the power of the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation will be. Although Lei Wei killed many experts before facing the tribulation, in reality, Lei Wei did not lose too much energy from killing so many experts. Lei Wei only faced the first 8 tribulations of the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. If those experts did not surround and kill him, would Lei Wei be able to face the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation in a perfect state? In reality, it was hard to say. Big brother, we understand. Not to mention you, even for us divine beasts. In fact, many divine beasts have failed to pass the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. We have good talent, but the power of the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation is even more ridiculous. Ho Fei helplessly transmitted. Xiao He also transmitted, Big brother, I heard from Uncle Lon that the Dragon Clan's patriarch is a 5-clawed golden dragon, the highest level divine beast. He also failed the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation and is now a 12th tribulation loose demon. The Dragon Clan's patriarch failed the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation? Qin Yu was shocked and immediately transmitted, then you have to be careful. Don't be careless. If you fail the tribulation, you will have to stay in the mortal world for at least 10,000 years. Haha, don't worry. With Uncle Lan's guidance, Mixed Hairbird and I are full of confidence in facing the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. Ho Fei transmitted. Big brother, we have some confidence in facing the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. Don't worry. Kuro also transmitted. Afterwards, Qin Yu, Ho Fei and Kuro chatted for a long time. Only then did they stop transmitting to each other. After this chat, Qin Yu also came to know that the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation is very terrifying. The more powerful a person is, the more the power of the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation will increase. Tenglong Continent. After Shan Chu and the other 4 loose immortals returned to the Tenglong Continent, they secretly leaked a piece of news. This news quickly spread to the top figures of the Tanglong continent. This news is, Senior Lon behind the Stellar Tower is extremely powerful. The 4 loose immortals, including Shan Chu, were not a match for him in one move. A 12th Tribulation loose demon of the chaotic astral ocean was also easily defeated by him. He is very strong. When those mysterious experts of the same level as Shan Chu saw the 4 of them return with their tails between their legs, they believed this news even more. The mysterious loose immortal behind the Stellar Tower? Very soon, the news that Hua Kan and Dame Yen Ji told their school seniors that the mysterious loose immortal behind the Stellar Tower forged middle-grade immortal weapons also spread out. The 4 loose immortals were not a match for him in one move? A 12th Tribulation loose demon was defeated? Forged into a middle-grade immortal weapon. In an instant, this news shocked the restless loose devil experts. Like the Qingshu Temple, the experts of the Yingyue Palace were the first to pass on the news of the Ni Yang realm to the Devil World's emissary. The emissary then passed it on to the Devil Emperor. Afterwards, the Devil Emperor issued an order. The Heaven Sundering Diagram. That Devil Emperor told them to do their best to fight for the other Heaven Sundering Diagram. However, the news about the mysterious loose immortal Uncle Lon spread all over the Tanglong continent. Those loose devil experts no longer dare to rashly break into the Stellar Tower. After all, he is a super mysterious expert who can easily defeat 12th Tribulation loose demons. Chapter 228. Tanglong Continent, in the Misty Hall of the Yingyue Palace. At the moment, many Xiomar experts have gathered in the Misty Hall. The 2 people with the lowest power here are 3rd Tribulation loose devil Hua Kan and 4th Tribulation loose devil Dame Yen Ji. At the moment, Hua Kan and Dame Yen Ji are sitting respectfully at the very end of the hall. Usually, it can be said that Dame Yen Ji and Hua can run amok on the Tanglong continent. The reason why they can run amok is that most of the loose devils and loose immortals at the 4th Tribulation level or higher have entered the chaotic astral ocean. Even the rest of them are hiding in secret places of their schools to practice quietly. Today, apart from Hua Kan and Dame Yen Ji, the weakest loose devil in the Misty Hall of the Yingyue Palace is an 8th Tribulation loose devil, and the strongest is even an 11th Tribulation loose devil. The number 1 expert of the Yingyue Palace, Dame Lian Yu, is wearing a black gauze. Her beautiful body is partly hidden and partly visible under the black gauze, but the experts from various Xiomar schools below her act as if they don't see her. Everyone, the Devil Realm's Devil Emperor has personally ordered us to do our best to protect the current Heaven Sundering Diagrams and try our best to fight for the other Heaven Sundering Diagrams. Presumably, all the sects have also received the order. Dame Lian Yu said indifferently. The Yingyue Palace and the Yanma School can be called the Mount Tai and the Big Dipper of the Devil Path. What can also conveyed the news of Immortal Emperor Ni Yang to the Demon Emperor, but he was a bit slower than the Yingyue Palace. In addition, the Yingyue Palace obtained the Heaven Sundering Diagram, which made the Demon Emperor attach great importance to the Yingyue Palace. The status of the Yingyue Palace also suddenly rose, surpassing the Yanma School in one fell swoop, and became the absolute number 1 school of the Demon Path. Lady Lian Yu, there are a total of 3 Heaven Sundering Diagrams. 1 is with us, 1 is with the Dragon Clan, and the last one is with Qin Yu of the Star Pavilion. The experts of the Dragon Clan are as numerous as clouds, and the legendary Dragon Clan Patriarch is known as the number 1 expert. It is estimated that only the legendary Island Master of the number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean can compare with him. Even though they are all 12th Tribulation loose demons, their real strength should be comparable to that of a golden immortal. Therefore, we simply don't need to think too much about the Heaven Sundering Diagram of the Dragon Clan. A representative of the Yanma School says. The Devil Dao experts from other sects also nodded in agreement. The strength of the Dragon Clan was simply too strong. Not only were the elders tyrannical, but the clan leader was also a 12th Tribulation 5-clawed golden dragon. His strength could be said to be invincible. According to the legends, the master of the number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean was also known as an invincible existence. Perhaps only these 2 monsters could be compared. If we want to fight for it, we can only fight for the Heaven Sundering Diagram in the hands of the Stellar Tower's Qin Yu. But he also has an extremely formidable expert behind him. The reason why the 4 loose immortals of the Qingshu Temple returned with their tails between their legs has something to do with this expert. Fighting for the heaven-sundering diagram in the hands of the Stellar Tower's Qin Yu is indeed rather difficult. That representative of the Yanmao school says indifferently, "Hua can, tell everyone what happened outside the 9 Swords Immortal Mansion." The expert from the Yanmao school said to his disciple, Hua can immediately bowed to the surrounding experts and said in a clear voice, "Seniors, this disciple attacked those small fries that day. Who would have thought that this disciple's attack couldn't hurt a little girl at the Jin Dan stage? This little girl is from the Stella Pavilion. The reason is, she has a protective magic treasure on her." "Impossible!" a red-faced man shouted angrily. "I don't believe it either, but facts are facts. Dame Yen-ji was also there that day, wasn't she?" Huacan looked at Dame Yen-ji. "A third tribulation loose devil can't break the protective magic treasure of a Jin Dan stage cultivator. If it was before that day, I wouldn't have believed it either. But I really saw that scene that day. Moreover, in the 9 Swords Immortal Mansion, that little girl even took out an ice-devouring lightning talisman." Dame Yen-ji challenged the nerves of the other loose devils again. An ice-devouring lightning talisman. Dame Lien Yu was also shocked. Those loose devils did not believe Hua Can's words at all. They suspected that the Yanmao school was deliberately undermining the Inue Palace. But since Dame Yen-ji said so, they began to believe it in their hearts. Now an ice-devouring lightning talisman has appeared. The ice-devouring lightning talisman is not frightening. What is frightening is the ability to make it. It is extremely difficult to make this kind of ice-devouring lightning talisman. One of them is enough to kill or seriously injure a 4th tribulation loose devil. If several hundred of them are made in one breath and smashed together, even an 8th tribulation or 9th tribulation loose immortal or loose devil will be seriously injured and die. Dame Lien Yu, the Grand Elder of our Yanmao school, is still in the chaotic astral ocean and hasn't come back yet. For the time being, we'd better not worry about this matter of seizing the treasure. It won't be too late to talk about it after our Grand Elder comes back. The representative of the Yanmao school says smilingly. Dame Lien Yu frowns and says, "Oh? You want to wait for that brainless fire devil?" Fire Devil is the title of the Grand Elder of the Yanmao school. His power is extremely high and he is also an 11th tribulation loose devil. He and Dame Lien Yu can be considered to be often at odds. The two of them have been at odds with each other for over 10,000 years, whether it is in their own way of doing things or in the interest of the school. We'd better not wait. It's not hard to seize the heaven-sundering diagram. After a while, my good friend Wu Hei will come back from the chaotic astral ocean. If we join hands, we won't be afraid of 12th tribulation loose immortals. Dame Lien Yu says coldly. Wu Hei. The loose devils present all exclaim in surprise. Most of these devil experts are at the 8th tribulation or the 9th tribulation, so they have all heard of the legendary devil expert Wu Hei. This Wu Hei practices an extremely peculiar technique. Up to now, nobody knows what kind of technique he practices, but there is no doubt that his fighting power is very strong. Moreover, he is an 11th tribulation loose devil. The face of the representative of the Yanmao school changes color. He immediately says smilingly, "Oh, so it's Senior Wu Hei. But, perhaps that expert of the Stellar Tower isn't even afraid of 12th tribulation loose immortals and loose devils. We'd better wait a while longer." Moreover, our Grand Elder said that this time Devil King, Senior Wu Kongshue, is also preparing to join the Devil World's Devil Emperor and work for him. The representative of the Yanmao school says smilingly, "Devil King Wu Kongshue." Dame Lien Yu suddenly stands up. The Devil World's experts are divided into 3 levels: Devil King, and Devil Emperor. Each level is divided into 9 levels. They correspond to the Immortal World's Immortal level, Golden Immortal level and Mystic Immortal level respectively. Wu Kongshue is a 12th tribulation loose devil, but he is respectfully called Devil King. That is because he is more powerful than ordinary 12th tribulation experts. Perhaps only the Dragon Clan's patriarch and the master of the #1 island in the chaotic astral ocean can defeat him. Dark clouds cover the sky. Blood sprinkles the sky. Senior Wu Kongxue unexpectedly came back. Looks like that stellar tower's heaven-sundering diagram is absolutely no problem. Dame Lian Yu says smilingly. The most important thing about Wu Kongxue's practice technique is killing people. Killing people non-stop and refining their blood at the same time. The more people he kills and the more blood he refines, the stronger his power will be. Wu Kongxue has reached the peak of the devil path in the mortal world by treading on this bloody path. In front of him, nobody dares to be arrogant. Wu Kongxue is neither a member of the Yingyue Palace nor a member of the Yanmo School. Like Wu Hei, his practice method is strange and different from that of ordinary devil practitioners, but his power is recognized by all devil experts. Moreover, Wu Kongxue is even more powerful and terrifying than Wu Hei. Outside Mount Qingshu, a red-robed middle-aged man and a green-clothed woman are flying extremely fast from the highest heavens on auspicious clouds. Their speed is so fast that not a single member of the Qingshu Temple has been able to discover them. They go straight for Heavenly Palace. At the moment, the four loose immortals including Shan Chu and Shan Yan have been waiting respectfully for a long time outside the great immortal formation of Heavenly Palace. When the red-robed middle-aged man and the green-clad woman land, they immediately say respectfully, "Greetings, Uncle Master Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing." The red-robed middle-aged man waves his sleeves and says smilingly, "Get up, all of you. Reverend Lan Bing was invited by me with great difficulty to help. You should treat her as a senior of your school, understand?" "We understand." The four of them respond. The Xiamoists have the heaven-sundering diagram and so does the Dragon Clan, but the Xiaxianists do not. Of course, those school experts in the chaotic astral ocean have all rushed back. All the legendary experts who have left their school for several thousand years have returned to the Tanglong continent from the chaotic astral ocean. Reverend Lan Bing is a loose immortal personally invited by Reverend Ming Shan. Her power is almost the same as Ming Shan's, both 11th Tribulation loose immortals. In Heavenly Palace, Shan Chu, my senior brother, has already given me information. Now there's only Lian Yu on the Xiamoist side. He'll be back in a few days. When the time comes, we'll have to snatch the heaven-sundering diagram as fast as lightning. During this period of time, you'll have to gather information about the Xiamoists clearly. Ming Shan says solemnly. The real #1 expert of the Qingshu Temple is Reverend Ming Liang. When the 12th Tribulation loose immortal Reverend Ming Liang returns, when his 12th Tribulation loose immortal is back, the Qingshu Temple will launch its first attack. Instead of attacking that unfathomably powerful loose immortal of the Stellar Tower, it would be better to attack the Xiaomo experts first. Don't worry, Uncle Master. According to Gon Su's information, we can conclude that Yen Ji of the Yingyue Palace has obtained the inkwash painting. We guess that most experts have gathered at the Yingyue Palace. And our information confirms our guess. Quite a few devils who haven't appeared for several thousand years have rushed to the Yingyue Palace. Shan Chu says respectfully. Ming Shan nods with a smile in satisfaction. They only need to wait for Reverend Ming Liang's return. Dame Lian Yu is the only 11th Tribulation loose devil on the enemy's side. Since the enemy's experts have not yet returned from the chaotic astral ocean, they will snatch the painting while the enemy is still weak. The chaotic astral ocean covers an area of over 10 billion li. In different areas of the chaotic astral ocean, those Xiomar experts will arrive at different times. At the moment, Reverend Ming Liang, the 12th Tribulation loose immortal and the spiritual leader of the Xiaxianists, has already decided to take advantage of the time difference to snatch the inkwash painting of the Xiomar experts at one stroke. In the chaotic astral ocean, Qin Yu knows absolutely nothing about the powers of the chaotic astral ocean. He also does not know that some experts belonging to various Super Xioma and Xiaxianist schools have rushed back to the Tanglong continent from the chaotic astral ocean. The chaotic astral ocean is mainly divided into two groups of powers. One group is made up of Xiozhen seniors who belong to various schools on the Tanglong continent. The other group is made up of all kinds of people. For example, there are many flying loose demons who live in the ocean, some scaled loose demons who are different from the Dragon Clan, and a small number of walking loose demons who did not stay in the wilderness. At the same time, There are also some loose devils and loose immortals who act alone. For example, Wu Kongxue, Wu Hei and Reverend Lan Bing are all lone rangers. They have no obligation to work for Xioma and Xiaxianist schools. This time, they have done so mostly for their own benefit. Perhaps they want to be put in an important position after ascending to the immortal world and the devil world. There is a very tough rule in the chaotic astral ocean. Powers of the Tanglong continent schools are not allowed to appear in the chaotic astral ocean. For example, Reverend Ming Liang and Reverend Ming Shan are very powerful. But in the chaotic astral ocean, they will never be able to establish a power. This is a rule that has been passed down for countless years and is also clearly stipulated by the three big islands. The masters of the three big islands in the chaotic astral ocean are all non-dragon loose demons or lone devils or loose immortals. In short, the rulers of the chaotic astral ocean are definitely not senior experts of the Tanglong continent schools. As the undercurrents are surging on the Tanglong continent, those 10th tribulation, 11th tribulation and even 12th tribulation experts are rushing back from the chaotic astral ocean. But Qin Yu is still quietly carrying out his own training journey. In the endless waves, a silhouette shoots out from the bottom of the ocean then leisurely shuttles back and forth among the waves. Seawater splashes on his body and the sea breeze blows on his body. Qin Yu moves forward as if he is taking a stroll. His eyes casually sweep the surroundings. Since last time he refined the Niden of a Deshang stage Farabeast, Qin Yu has reached the peak of the early Dujie stage. Once the energy of the solar core is completely refined and purified, Qin Yu will enter the middle Dujie stage. But now, Qin Yu is not in a hurry to kill Farabeasts. What he is doing now is catching Farabeasts. What is he catching Farabeasts for? Now I have 4 holy beast collars. If I want to catch Farabeasts, of course I have to try my best to catch some strong ones. There is a faint smile on Qin Yu's face, but his eyes are carefully looking around. Qin Yu's current soul sense is still at the peak of the late Dujie stage. If it is a Deshang stage Farabeast, Qin Yu simply cannot use his soul sense to observe it. Therefore, he can only rely on his eyes. Walking among the waves and carefully searching, Qin Yu is very lucky. After spending a day and a half, he finally finds his target. But this target is even better than Qin Yu imagined. It is so good that Qin Yu becomes excited. The water here is cyan and black. There is not a single Farabeast in the surrounding several tens of li. Qin Yu notices this place carefully. There are no other Farabeasts. It is very likely that there is an extremely powerful Farabeast here. Sure enough, looking from afar, there is a black shadow walking on water in this cyan water. Looking closer, this black shadow is nearly 4 or 5 meters long and 2 or 3 meters tall. Its head is unexpectedly a dragon's head. Its body is covered in black scales like a black dragon's. The only difference is that it has 4 hooves. Divine Beast Ink Qilin. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. Seeing the Ink Qilin, Qin Yu has already decided in his heart to take the Ink Qilin as his first holy beast. Chapter 229. Dujie Stage Human, what the hell do you want to do in front of me? A Dujie Stage Human is challenging the authority of a Deshang Stage Divine Beast. Are you courting death? The Ink Qilin stares at Qin Yu in the distance with his cold eyes, his voice resounding through heaven and earth. This Ink Qilin is not a ferocious beast. Ferocious beasts have blood-red eyes, but this Ink Qilin's eyes are not blood-red. Moreover, this Ink Qilin is a demon, and even a loose demon. Ink Qilin, a divine beast that has undergone 3 tribulations of being a loose demon, you can just admit defeat in front of me. You're no match for me. Qin Yu says smilingly. The Ink Qilin is a 3rd tribulation loose demon. But just now this Ink Qilin claimed to be a Deshang stage divine beast. He is indeed a Deshang stage divine beast, but he is a 3rd tribulation loose demon instead of a Deshang stage 1. This shows that he is very proud of himself. A loose demon? You're courting death. The Ink Qilin gets angry. With a movement of his body, he arrives in front of Qin Yu in a blur. Facing all this, Qin Yu's reaction is, the Lord of Black Flame's Ring, Heavenly Fire Domain. Ah! A painful roar comes from the ink Qilin's mouth. At the same time, he retreats rapidly, his eyes full of astonishment. Heavenly fire. You can even use heavenly fire to attack? Even a fourth tribulation loose demon cannot withstand more than a few blows, let alone a third tribulation loose demon like the ink Qilin. He is more powerful than a fourth tribulation loose demon, but he will not be able to hold on for long. Seeing that Qin Yu can use heavenly fire to attack, the ink Qilin wisely chooses to run away. Running away? Divine Beast Ink Qilin shouldn't be good at running away. Unfortunately, I'm best at speed. Qin Yu uses the human weapon unification while stepping on a middle-grade immortal weapon. Qin Yu's body is extremely tough, even surpassing that of a top-grade holy weapon. His body will not be an obstacle when he flies. Moreover, with the help of a middle-grade immortal weapon flying sword, Qin Yu's speed is simply astonishing. The ink Qilin has just run away for a while when Qin Yu arrives in front of him. Don't run. You can't escape, Qin Yu said with a faint smile. When the Black Kirin saw the mysterious man in black in front of him, his heart skipped a beat. Speed was not his forte, but in terms of speed, the Black Kirin was not weak. Even a master at the Deshang stage might not be able to catch up with him. You're only at the tribulation passing stage. How can you catch up to me? Also, how can you use heavenly fire? Even ordinary celestial immortals don't have the ability to use skyfire. The ink Qilin stopped running and asked Qin Yu. Secret. Qin Yu smiled. Then he turned into a black light and rushed toward the Black Qilin. Hands, feet, elbows, knees. In a split second, Qin Yu was like a humanoid mythological beast. Qin Yu displayed an extremely fast close-range attack. The Black Qilin was very excited at first. Competing with a divine beast in terms of physical strength? It suspected that the person in front of it was stupid. But when the fight began, the Black Qilin found it hard to believe. A divine beast's physical body was strong, but it was not strong enough to reach the Deshang stage without relying on internal energy. After all, to a divine beast, the body was only a part of its strength. Yuanying energy was the most important. Qin Yu's physical body alone was able to fight against a divine beast. The sound of punches hitting flesh was very real. It was like hitting a sandbag. The Black Qilin scales began to shatter and blood began to flow. You're a human? No, you're a divine beast. What is your true form? Five-clawed golden dragon? Or the legendary golden-eyed stone ape? The Black Qilin said angrily through its spiritual sense. The golden-eyed stone ape was a divine beast on the same level as the five-clawed golden dragon. Its body was as hard as diamond and very powerful. No, I'm a human. Qin Yu's body turned into a whirlwind. His right leg was like a divine whip from beyond the heavens. It lashed out viciously at the Black Qilin's abdomen, sending it flying. Roar! The Black Qilin roared towards the sky. The surrounding water became completely chaotic. Streams of water formed flying swords that shot towards Qin Yu. Just by looking at the splendor of those flying swords, Qin Yu did not doubt their power. The Black Qilin was born to control water. Within the Qilin clan, it was considered one of the stronger ones. Of course, the king of the Qilin clan was the legendary Fire Qilin that was born from flames. The Black Qilin was born from generation to generation, unlike the Fire Qilin that was born from flames. But the Black Qilin's ability to control water was still very strong. This Black Qilin seemed to know that these flying swords could not do anything to Qin Yu. Its whole body emitted rays of black light. The black light engulfed the seawater within a range of several hundred meters. The seawater began to fly up, forming a huge water ball over a kilometer in diameter. The water ball rapidly shrank. In just a moment, it became a fist-sized water ball. Human, just now, you actually did not stop me from using this unique skill. Yes, you have the skyfire, but the power of my life-saving, inky black heavy water is not as simple as you think. Prepare to die. The Black Qilin shouted coldly. Indeed, just as the Black Qilin said, Qin Yu did not stop the Black Qilin from using this skill. With Qin Yu's speed, he had the chance to stop it, but he did not. Because Qin Yu wanted to tame the Black Qilin as his spiritual beast, not kill it. He had to let the Black Qilin understand his power. Only then could he make this proud divine beast submit. I will not use the heavenly flame to block it. Rest assured, even if I don't use the heavenly flame, I will still be able to easily defeat you. Moreover, this special move of yours is simply unable to affect me," said Qin Yu with a light smile. "Then you are courting death." Hearing that Qin Yu did not use the sky fire to stop it, the Black Qilin emitted rays of black light from all directions and then wrapped around the small water ball. Like a ray of black light, it shot towards Qin Yu at high speed. But Qin Yu just reached out with his right hand. Qin Yu's right hand very easily caught the black water ball that was flying at high speed. The Black Qilin's face was filled with madness. He could almost see the black water ball blasting away Qin Yu's right hand, severely injuring or even killing Qin Yu. "It's quite powerful." Qin Yu's voice rang out. The Black Qilin's face changed. Qin Yu was very careful. "This attack really is powerful. Even my current body is unable to withstand it. Its power is roughly on par with Zhou Xian's blue ripple attack." Qin Yu could clearly sense that his right hand was being ripped apart, but Qin Yu, who had mastered elemental life force, would not allow his right hand to be destroyed. When Qin Yu had blocked Zhou Xian's attack, the elemental life force in his body had automatically repaired his hand. But now, Qin Yu was consciously controlling the large amounts of elemental life force in his body to repair his hand. Qin Yu held the black water ball in his hand, constantly using up the energy of the water ball. Even if his hand was injured, it would instantly repair itself. Controlling a large amount of elemental life force to repair his hand was much faster than using elemental life force to repair itself. How is this possible? The Black Qilin was stupefied. This was because Qin Yu had simply used a single hand to destroy his supreme attack. "Even without using Skyfire, I can easily defeat you." As soon as Qin Yu finished speaking, he charged towards the Black Qilin. At this moment, the Black Qilin's heart was beginning to feel fear and worry. He knew very well that even he himself wouldn't be able to withstand that attack without being injured. Die! The Black Qilin let out a furious roar, and all of the Qilin's horns stabbed towards the charging Qin Yu. But at this moment, the Black Qilin's body suddenly sank. The Lord of Black Flame's ring. Gravitational field. The sudden pressure caused the Black Qilin to reveal a fatal flaw at this critical moment. Squelch! Qin Yu's short sword pierced through the Black Qilin's scales. A moment later, Qin Yu came out of the Black Qilin's body with one hand holding the Qilin's Yuanying. The Black Qilin's Yuanying face was filled with shock. "What level is your flying sword? It pierced through my scales so easily. How is this possible?" "Middle-grade immortal weapon," Qin Yu said, looking at the Black Qilin in his hand. "You can use Skyfire, your body is so tough that you can easily kill me, and you're faster than me, and you have an immortal weapon that can easily pierce through my scales. Why do you torture me like this?" The Black Qilin was furious. He could also see that the mysterious black-clothed youth before him was too powerful. If the black-clothed youth wanted to kill him, the black-clothed youth could have burned him to ashes with the heavenly flame or directly killed him with the immortal sword. Why did he take so long to kill him? "Nothing. I just want you to be my spiritual beast." Qin Yu took out a spiritual beast collar. Obviously, the Black Qilin had heard of spiritual beast collars. As soon as he saw it, he said proudly, "You want me to be your spiritual beast? You're strong, but I don't want to be ordered and controlled by you. I'd rather die than live a life without freedom." Qin Yu let out a long sigh of relief. Generally, divine beasts are proud and don't want to be other people's spiritual beast. He had just conquered this Black Qilin with his strength. Actually, the Black Qilin was relieved when he said that. If the Black Qilin was really unwilling, he would have a different attitude. "Don't worry. You're a third tribulation loose demon. You can be my spiritual beast first. After I ascend, you only need to take care of my family. Nobody will restrain you, and I won't order you to do anything," Qin Yu said with a smile. Knowing Qin Yu's power, the Black Qilin immediately said with a nod, "Okay, I believe you." The Black Qilin has already discovered Qin Yu's power. Since a human can be so strong, he also believes that Qin Yu will definitely be able to overcome the 9th heaven tribulation. When he ascends, Qin Yu will naturally separate from him. Qin Yu infuses the spiritual beast collar with the power of the stars. Immediately, he puts the collar on the Yuanying. Immediately, the collar starts to shrink and directly fuses with the Yuanying's body. The spiritual beast collar is related to the soul. Once it is fused with, the Black Qilin will not be able to betray him no matter how powerful he is later. "Bastard, you'd better not let me know who the F***ck you are. Otherwise, I'll definitely let you die a horrible death." A handsome young man curses angrily. There is still blood on his body. This young man is called Lien Chong, a 7th tribulation loose demon. His father and mother are even more terrifying. His father is an 11th tribulation loose demon, and his mother is even more formidable, a 12th tribulation loose demon. Normally, given his status, very few people even in the chaotic astral ocean dare to provoke him. This time, Lien Chong is going to undergo the 8th tribulation of a loose demon. His parents are extremely strict with him. Their demands can even be regarded as cruel. Chong, if you always rely on your parents to practice the devil path, you'll only succeed in your dreams. Everything, you have to rely on yourself. This is what Lien Chong's parents often say. The devil path of the devil path is cruel to the enemy as well as to oneself. Given Lien Chong's power, of course he has full confidence in overcoming the 8th tribulation of a loose demon. He has also prepared quite a few treasures for overcoming the tribulation. Even though his parents say so and are usually very strict, they still give their precious son a protective magic treasure. A middle-grade flying sword is a demonic weapon. Normally, even 10th tribulation loose immortals and loose demons and even 11th tribulation loose immortals don't have a middle-grade demonic weapon, but Lien Chong has one. It was given to him by his mother. Originally, he was very confident in finding a place to undergo the tribulation. However, a few days before the tribulation, he was unexpectedly sneak attacked by a loose demon. The most important thing is, this loose demon is too powerful. He is at least a 9th tribulation loose demon or even more powerful. This loose demon's face is always indistinct, so it is basically impossible to see through him. Perhaps he wants to sneak attack Lien Chong, so he has prepared everything so that Lien Chong cannot see through him. Lien Chong is a 7th tribulation loose demon, but he has many treasures and some life-saving treasures given to him by his parents. Obviously, his parents have also thought about the possibility of their son being hunted down. But this time the enemy is too strong. He has been running for 2 or 3 days. Lien Chong simply doesn't care where he is going. He only knows that he is running for his life. Even though he can teleport, the enemy has obviously left some kind of mark on him so that no matter where he teleports to, the enemy can still catch up with him. In addition, the distance of teleportation is directly proportional to one's power, so Lien Chong simply has no time to go back. After teleporting only twice, Lien Chong no longer dares to teleport because once he teleports, he will have a momentary pause. The enemy may take advantage of this to catch him. After teleporting twice, Lien Chong begins to flee desperately, using all kinds of escape techniques. In a panic, he has no choice but to use the blood-fleeing art, a technique unique to Shiomar experts, while his primordial spirit attaches itself to the flying sword, a middle-grade evil weapon. In the end, he has fled to this place, but he has finally shaken off the enemy. "Father, mother, I'm being hunted down." At the moment, Lien Chong is contacting his parents. "You're asking me where I am? I don't know. I'm surrounded by boundless water and no special islands, so how can I know where I am? Father, mother, you should have sensed my aura, right?" Lien Chong says helplessly. "What? You can't sense me? No way. Did I run too far away?" Lien Chong is a bit stupefied. First he ran desperately for 2 or 3 days, then he used the blood-fleeing art to flee desperately. In the end, he himself does not know how far he has run and where he has run to. "Father, mother, my loose devil tribulation is coming very soon. After fleeing for so long and using the blood-fleeing art, I only have 20% of my power left at most. Many treasures have been used up and I only have one flying sword left. Lien Chong is in a panic. If he faces the divine tribulation in his present state, he will definitely die. Boom! Thunder suddenly bursts in the sky. In an instant, the sky changes color and becomes dark red like a furnace. Father, mother, the divine tribulation is coming. Lien Chong is already speechless. I'm anxious. You're anxious and I'm anxious too. What's the point? Who knows where this damn place is? It's over. I've searched millions of li of water with my devil sense, but I haven't even seen a single island that I know. Lien Chong is so anxious that he is about to go crazy. Not only him, his parents are also about to go crazy at the moment. But what can they do? Obviously, their son has fled too far away at the moment. His parents simply cannot use their devil sense to find him. Moreover, they cannot find their son's location according to the map, because there are simply no islands that they know in the surroundings. Chong, who is that person who hunted you? I'll avenge you by killing him even if I have to die. Lien Chong's mother, a 12th tribulation loose devil, is about to go crazy. Father, mother, get ready to avenge me. That bastard has hunted me for more than 2 days. I think he's at least a 10th tribulation loose devil. Father, mother, don't say any more. I don't have any hope of resisting the divine tribulation of a loose devil. At the moment, Lien Chong is about to lose all hope. At least a 10th tribulation loose devil? Good. Don't worry, Chong, I'll kill every 10th tribulation loose devil, 11th tribulation loose devil and the only 12th tribulation loose devil who has any grudges with me. I practice the devil path of Azura, which starts with killing, but I haven't killed anyone for a long time. At the moment, Lien Chong's mother is completely crazy. Chong, Big uncle, it's you. Lien Chong is pleasantly surprised. If it is his big uncle, perhaps he can still be saved. Chong, it's no use. When the divine tribulation comes, you can only rely on yourself. Even if other people go to help you, the divine tribulation will attack both of you at the same time and its power will increase. No matter what, you have to go through the tribulation of a loose devil. In your current state, only the tribulation holy pill of the master of the Lianyun Island can restore your power in an instant. If you can't restore your power, it'll be useless even if we find you. Big uncle, the tribulation holy pill? Can you go and borrow the tribulation holy pill? If you want to borrow it, you'll definitely be able to. Lien Chong does not want to die, so he sends a message urgently. At the moment, the tribulation cloud has formed in the sky. The first sky thunder is about to strike. The tribulation holy pill is an absolute treasure. If it was something else, it'd be easy for me to borrow it. But this tribulation holy pill, it's really hard to say whether the master of the Lianyun Island will be willing to lend it to me or not. Moreover, I can't find where you are. Get the tribulation holy pill and find him. Both conditions are indispensable. Without the tribulation holy pill, it will be useless to find him. Even though the tribulation holy pill is hard to borrow, there is still a bit of hope. But how can they find him? Moreover, the divine tribulation is about to come. There is simply no time to do so. Big uncle, father, mother, get ready to avenge me. After sending the last message, Lien Chong puts away the transmitter and begins to go all out to go through the tribulation. Chong, At the moment, tears are streaming down from the eyes of Lien Chong's parents. But at the same time, monstrous killing intent rises in their hearts. Lien Chong's big uncle's eyes are full of coldness. With only 20% of his power left and a middle-grade immortal sword, how long can Lien Chong resist? 5 sky thunders. My power has almost been used up. There are still 4 sky thunders that are even more powerful. At the moment, Lien Chong is barely standing on the water. He has already given up all hope. Relying on only 20% of his power and the immortal sword, he has barely withstood 5 sky thunders. How can he resist the last four? A few days ago, Lien Cheng did not care about this eighth tribulation of an individual devil at all. Indeed, if his power was still there, he would not have cared about it. But now, he is dead. He is going to die. Before dying, Lien Cheng recalls his glorious years in the past few years. He has his parents behind him. Even though his parents are strict with him, they cannot change the fact that he has two formidable parents. Because of this, he has been living very freely these past few years. Even in the chaotic astral ocean, few people have dared to be arrogant towards him. If I die, everything will be in vain. Lien Cheng gives a bitter smile. Only when he is about to die does he realize how wonderful his days were when he was alive. Brother, I see that your power has been used up, but this divine tribulation is not over yet. I have a holy pill here. Take it and you'll be able to recover your power. A voice like the sound of nature rises in Lien Cheng's ears. Lien Cheng raises his head to take a look. In front of him is a black-clad young man. It is none other than Qin Yu. You have a tribulation holy pill? Lien Cheng knows that the only thing that can restore his power in an instant is the tribulation holy pill. Tribulation holy pill? No, this is an eternal good fortune pill. It also has the effect of restoring power. Qin Yu says smilingly. At the same time, he throws a holy pill emitting green light to Lien Cheng. Eternal good fortune pill? Never heard of it. Lien Cheng says while shaking his head. Soon after, he curses in a low voice. F***CK, I'm going to die. I don't care what it is. Let's fight. Seeing that the sixth sky thunder is about to fall, Lien Cheng swallows the holy pill at once, not caring at all whether it is poisonous or not. Lien Cheng also knows that at this time, who will use poison to kill him? As soon as he swallows this eternal good fortune pill, he is delighted in his heart. There is hope. He only feels that the eternal good fortune pill turns into streams of clear energy and fuses with his yuanying. Streams of green energy spread throughout his body. His yuanying recovers extremely fast as if it has taken a tonic. His originally dry and exhausted yuanying suddenly becomes full of energy. In just a while, his yuanying has unexpectedly recovered completely. It's true. I'm saved. Lien Cheng is wild with joy. When one is in despair, hope suddenly arrives. Even Lien Cheng is wild with joy. Immediately afterwards, he looks at Qin Yu excitedly and says solemnly like never before, Brother, I'm Lien Cheng, the son of the second and third masters of the Devil Pang Island, the #1 island in the chaotic astral ocean. I, Lien Cheng, will definitely repay you for saving my life. Qin Yu is slightly startled. He did not expect that the person he casually saved would be a big shot from the #1 island in the chaotic astral ocean. Eternal good fortune pill? It's just an ordinary holy pill that has been fused with elemental life force. At the moment, Lien Cheng's power has completely recovered. Holding a middle-grade immortal sword in his hand, he does not care about the sixth sky thunder at all. The #1 island in the chaotic astral ocean, the Devil Pang Island? A faint smile appears on Qin Yu's face. He looks at Lien Cheng, who is not far from him, going through the loose devil tribulation. Chapter 230. The sky is dark and the earth is dark. Dark clouds cover the sky. Those purple tribulation clouds emit a pressure that makes people's hearts palpitate. It is a pressure unique to the heavens. Snakes of lightning move about. Finally, the eighth thunderbolt strikes down. The power of this thunderbolt is even more terrifying than the one I encountered on the road to the underworld. Even now, I think I won't be able to resist this eighth thunderbolt. Qin Yu watches Lien Cheng going through the loose devil tribulation in the distance. The eighth loose devil tribulation is naturally more powerful than the 9th heaven tribulation. However, Lien Cheng dauntlessly withstands the power of this thunderbolt with his sword. He does not seem to be struggling at all. After all, Lien Cheng is not an ordinary loose devil. He is a loose devil who practices the devil way of Azura and also has a middle-grade devil weapon. Qin Yu looks at Lien Chong and ponders, the Devil Pang Island, the number one island in the chaotic astral ocean? I know nothing about the chaotic astral ocean, but I can rely on this Lien Chong to know some information. Suddenly, little Mo, you've come back? Qin Yu turns his head and looks at a black figure rushing towards him extremely fast in the distance. This is none other than the Ink Qilin, who has just returned from a hunting trip. Master, a loose devil. He's too powerful. He's definitely surpassed the sixth tribulation. Master, that man is an expert, an extremely powerful expert. The Ink Qilin looks in shock at Lien Chong, who is going through the tribulation in the distance. Master, we'd better leave quickly. If that expert has any evil intentions after going through the heavenly tribulation, we'll be in danger. Seeing the Ink Qilin so flustered, Qin Yu says smilingly, Don't worry, little Mo. Master, you don't know. Little Mo says hurriedly, Loose devils are very cruel. Besides, didn't you feel the fierce aura he gave off? On the Tanglong continent, there are almost no experts who can practice the devil way of Azura. What Lien Chong practices is precisely the devil way of Azura. Naturally, his baleful aura is very terrifying. As a divine beast, the Ink Qilin has very keen senses, so he can feel a strong threat from Lien Chong. Don't worry, little Mo. I saved his life. Not long ago, he even told me that he would repay me for saving his life. Qin Yu shakes his head and smiles. Right, little Mo, let me ask you something. Is the number one island in the chaotic astral ocean called the Devil Pang Island or something? The Ink Qilin had been in the chaotic astral ocean for much longer than Qin Yu, so he naturally knew about this. You're asking about Devil Pang Island? The Ink Qilin was clearly very shocked. Master, could it be that you've offended Devil Pang Island? No, I didn't. Tell me in detail about this Devil Pang Island and the other powers in the chaotic astral ocean. Qin Yu said with a smile. Hearing Qin Yu say that he didn't offend the Devil Pang Island, the Ink Qilin finally lets out a long sigh of relief and explains, Master, there are a lot of loose practitioners in the chaotic astral ocean, and there are also quite a few powers. Among them, the three biggest islands are the Devil Pang Island, the Lianyun Island and the Black Wind Island. Experts are as common as clouds in these three great islands, and the strongest of the three great islands is Devil Pang Island. The three great islands. Qin Yu remembered it in his heart. Although there are other forces in the chaotic astral ocean, compared to the three big islands, they are simply not on the same level. Among the 3,000 loose practitioners of the Devil Pang Island, the weakest one is at the sixth tribulation. Even divine beasts need to reach the fourth tribulation before they can be considered members of the Devil Pang Island. There is a hint of hope in the Ink Qilin's eyes. Qin Yu was stupefied. 3,000 loose practitioners? The weakest one is at the sixth tribulation? Qin Yu was a bit stupefied. How is that possible? How can there be so many loose practitioners? How is that not possible, Master? There are hundreds of millions of Xiationists on the Tanglong continent alone. Many experts lost their physical bodies and became loose practitioners. Of course there are many loose practitioners, but how can the number of loose practitioners who can reach the sixth tribulation be small? Moreover, I was only talking about the Tanglong continent just now. Master, in this boundless ocean, there are loose demons at the bottom of the ocean. On the islands on the surface of the ocean, there are flying-type loose demons. There are also a large number of Xiationist schools. There are even more people here than on the Tanglong continent. Qin Yu was startled. He originally thought that there were many Xiationists on the Tanglong continent, but now it seems that there are even more in the water. Thinking about it carefully, this makes sense. It should be known that the power of Zuyoists is comparable to that of Xiaxianists and Xiamoists combined. There are Xiaxianists and Xiamoists not only on the Tanglong continent but also on the islands overseas. There are so many schools on the Tanglong continent and so many schools on the islands overseas. How many are there in total? And the number of Zuyoists at the bottom of the ocean is about the same as that of Xiaxianists and Xiamoists combined. Master, no matter if they are loose practitioners on the Tanglong continent or in the calm ocean, most of them will enter the chaotic astral ocean once they reach the fourth tribulation level. Almost 80% of the loose practitioners are in the chaotic astral ocean. Moreover, almost all of the loose practitioners above the 10th tribulation are in the chaotic astral ocean. Therefore, it's not strange that there are 3,000 loose practitioners on the Devil Pang Island. Only now does Qin Yu feel what a powerful force is. Master, the higher the power of a practitioner, the more powerful a super expert is, the more invincible he can be. The second master of the Devil Pang Island is a 12th tribulation loose devil. In the past, the number of loose practitioners he killed shocked the whole chaotic astral ocean. He is almost invincible. Qin Yu's heart jolts. The second master of the Devil Pang Island should be Lien Chong's father or mother. Then what about the island master himself? Qin Yu asks at once. There is only worship in the Ink Chilan's eyes. The master of the Devil Pang Island is a divine beast. Moreover, he is a top-notch divine beast. His power is truly invincible, absolutely invincible. In the chaotic astral ocean, no one is his match. The Ink Chilan has no other adjectives than invincible. But Qin, you can already imagine how powerful that island master is. If the three big islands of the chaotic astral ocean know about the Ni-Yong realm, that scene. Qin Yu's heart jolts, but he immediately shakes his head, denying this idea. The Ni-Yong realm is the lair left behind by a level 8 mystic immortal sword immortal. Once this news spreads out, it may make all the big powers in the chaotic astral ocean excited. At that time, not only the Tenglong continent, experts from various regions will probably fight for it with their lives on the line. 3 heaven-sundering diagrams. Qin Yu has a hint of worry in his heart. Before he left the Qin dynasty, he gave his heaven-sundering diagrams to his second brother Qin Zheng. For Qin Yu, who has the Lord of Black Flame's ring, the heaven-sundering diagrams are basically meaningless. After all, the Lord of Black Flame's ring has a complete map and it also has the qualification to bring 8 people in. When Qin Yu entered Lei Mountain House to train, he gave the heaven-sundering diagrams to Li'er, telling her to hand them over when she is in danger. Now Qin Yu has given them to Qin Zheng. After all, Qin Zheng is the emperor of the Qin dynasty and can't hide in the Stellar Tower like his father. If someone catches Qin Zheng and threatens him, it's better for him to hand over the heaven-sundering diagrams. He believes that the enemy won't go too far for the sake of the mysterious Uncle Lon. Even though Uncle Lon has left, those loose immortals and loose devils still don't know. The heaven-sundering diagrams. I don't know how many loose practitioners will die for it. Qin Yu sighs in his heart. But right at this moment, a huge explosion comes from where Lien Chong is. The space within several tens of li of him starts to shake. The air forms various ripples that spread out in all directions. At that moment, even the water surface forcibly sinks down several tens of meters. It is as if an invisible big hand is pressing it down. Ha ha! I finally succeeded. Ha ha! Extremely excited loud laughter comes from the center of the explosion. A beam of light can be seen flying towards Qin Yu from the center of the explosion. At the moment, Lien Chong's face is glowing red and his eyes are shining brightly. Death. Lien Chong was so close to death that he even despaired. But at the last moment, Qin Yu floats over and gives him the precious eternal rebirth pill. Brother, I'm Lien Chong. You're so loyal that you directly gave me such a precious eternal rebirth pill without asking for any revenge. I can't thank you enough. I'm really sorry. Even now I still don't know the name of my savior. Lien Chong looks very natural and unrestrained. Qin Yu says with a nod, Brother Lien Chong, I'm Qin Yu. This is my spiritual beast, the Ink Chilan. Spiritual beast? Lien Chong is very astonished. Brother Qin Yu, you're making it harder and harder for me to see through you. Not only can you tame a spiritual beast, but you also have the eternal rebirth pill. If I take it, its effect will definitely be as good as the tribulation holy pill. Even the master of the Lienyun Island values this pill. You gave it to me so easily. If I don't repay you, how can I be at ease? Lien Chong frowns in distress. The eternal rebirth pill is too precious. It also saved my life. Of course my life is as precious as the eternal rebirth pill. How can I repay you? Qin Yu gives a smile. Brother Lien Cheng, you don't have to worry too much about it. When he saw an expert in the beginning, Qin Yu didn't think too much about it, so he directly gave him an eternal rebirth pill. In fact, this eternal rebirth pill is the most common pill that has been fused with the elemental life force. For Qin Yu, it is basically nothing. After all, Qin Yu's elemental life force is almost limitless. How can I do that? Lien Cheng puts on a stern face. When I was being chased, F*CK, I lost so many treasures along the way. Countless treasures I collected over the past 10,000 years were all used up. In the end, I even had to use the blood-fleeing art to barely escape to this place. I only had a flying sword left as my weapon and only 20% of my power left. At the moment, Lien Cheng's face is full of anger. The most F*king thing is that the loose devil tribulation came. God really wants me dead. I sent messages to my father, my mother and my big uncle, but it was no use. There's no island around here, so my father and mother couldn't find me. Even if they did find me, it would be useless. When going through the tribulation, other people basically can't help me. Qin Yu is also clear about this point. When going through the tribulation, even if other people help, the heavenly tribulation will only become more powerful and attack the helper as well. The person going through the tribulation simply can't avoid the heavenly thunder's test. Without the tribulation holy pill, my father and mother couldn't save me even if they found me. It's true. At that time I was really desperate. For so many years, I ran amok in the chaotic astral ocean. Relying on this demonic flying sword and all kinds of treasures, I could even kill ninth tribulation experts. Very few of those with high power dared to provoke me. Who would have thought I'd end up like this? There is a hint of desolation on Lien Cheng's face. It turns out I only just found out that those 10th tribulation and 11th tribulation experts were usually hypocritical to me. On the surface, they were very friendly to me, but in secret, Lien Cheng thinks of the man who chased after him. He hid his aura, changed his appearance and chased after me. Lien Cheng clenches his fists so hard that blue veins pop out. In the end, I escaped from the chase but faced the threat of the heavenly tribulation. After even sending messages to my parents, I was desperate. At that time I thought, how nice it would be if someone could save me. I thought I was dreaming. After going through the 5th heavenly thunder, my power was exhausted and I completely gave up the hope of surviving. Suddenly Lien Cheng's eyes brighten. He pats Qin Yu's shoulder. But brother Qin Yu, you appeared and saved me. I could see your power. Given your realm, you simply couldn't see my power and you couldn't see who I was. But you didn't hesitate at all to save me and gave me such a precious eternal creation pill. Brother Qin Yu, I, Lien Cheng, will remember this life-saving grace for the rest of my life. Lien Cheng says very solemnly. This time Lien Cheng has indeed suffered a big blow. He used up a lot of mental and physical energy to escape. After escaping for so long, he risked his life to escape from the chase. Then he encountered the tribulation of the loose devil. He struggled again and again, but in the end he was still desperate. At the last moment, Qin Yu's appearance really made Lien Cheng very grateful. In particular, the eternal creation pill is very precious. Qin Yu can only smile about this. Brother Qin Yu, where is this place? I still don't know where this place is. Tell me where this place is and I'll know the way back. Lien Cheng immediately asks. Qin Yu looks at the ink Qilin. Even though Qin Yu knows the way here, he doesn't know the names of some islands. Master, there's an island more than 3 million li south of here called Bailon Island. The ink Qilin knows it very well. Bailon Island? Good God, I've escaped so far away. Lien Cheng is shocked himself. He ran away in a panic, risked his life to escape and used the blood escape. Unexpectedly, he reached the area of Bailon Island. Lien Cheng is really good at running. Brother Lien Cheng, do you have a map of the chaotic astral ocean? Qin Yu guesses and asks. If there is a map of the vast chaotic astral ocean, it will be much better. Lien Chong says with a nod, "Of course I do. Some islands in the chaotic astral ocean are marked on this map. You can know the location by looking at the islands. Brother Chinyu, don't you have one?" Chinyu nods. Without saying anything else, Lien Chong takes out a jade slip and hands it directly to Chinyu. "Brother Chinyu, this is the map of the chaotic astral ocean. It's also accompanied by introductions of the major islands. You'll know the name of each island as soon as you identify it." Chinyu receives the jade slip and scans it with his holy sense. This jade slip not only has a map but also detailed pictures of the major islands and detailed introductions. It's really very detailed. "Brother Chinyu, you look like you're not familiar with the chaotic astral ocean. You must have come from outside. Haha. Come with me to the Devil Pang Island to have some fun. You saved me this time. I'm at least a native of the chaotic astral ocean. I must treat you well." Lien Chong is very enthusiastic. "Master, he's from the Devil Pang Island?" The Ink Chilin whispers in surprise. Chinyu nods and says, "Brother Lien Chong is the son of the second and third island owners of the Devil Pang Island." "You're the legendary Azura Little Heavenly Devil?" The Ink Chilin is dumbfounded. "Azura Little Heavenly Devil?" Chinyu also looks at Lien Chong in surprise. This nickname is really special. Lien Chong slightly blinks his eyes and touches his nose, saying, modestly, "I'm the legendary Azura Little Heavenly Devil who's invincible in the chaotic astral ocean." "Brother Chinyu, isn't this nickname very cool?" Chinyu is stunned. This brother I just met seems quite interesting. Chapter 231. In the misty and boundless ocean, Lien Chong easily teleports with Chinyu and the Ink Chilin. After all, Lien Chong is an 8th tribulation loose devil, so it is not difficult for him to teleport with two people. "Father, mother, don't worry." Lien Chong and his parents are communicating for the first time since crossing the tribulation. "Now I know clearly where I am and my power has also improved. As an 8th tribulation loose devil with a middle-grade evil weapon, not many experts can kill me. Moreover, I can send messages to you when I'm in danger." Through Lien Chong's persuasion, his parents finally agree not to teleport over immediately. Just now when Lien Chong had just sent the news of his survival back, the second and third masters of the Devil Pang Island thought their son was dead. Now they know he is alive, so of course they are extremely excited and want to teleport over immediately to take him back. Lien Chong has to say so much to comfort his parents. Indeed, at the moment Lien Chong is not in any danger at all. Even if he is in danger, now he knows where he is, so he can tell his parents to come over immediately. Lien Chong, Chinyu and the Ink Chilin will teleport when they come across an empty ocean and fly over when they come across some special places. Lien Chong will then introduce the place to them in detail. "Brother Chinyu, this island is called the Coiling Snake Island. It's the territory of a 10th tribulation loose demon. This old demon is very abnormal, but he still has to be polite to me." Lien Chong points at an island not far away and says, "Brother Lien Chong." A black-clad old man flies over extremely fast from a distance and greets him smilingly. As soon as Lien Chong has arrived at his territory, his demonic spirit has already discovered him. The black-clad old man forces a smile on his face. The youngster in front of him is a little devil of the Devil Pang Island, so he can be provoked by anyone but him. "Haha, old snake, come on, let me introduce you. This is my brother Chinyu. Brother Chinyu and I are friends who have gone through life and death together. Brother Chinyu, this is big brother Hei Wu." Lien Chong says solemnly. "Oh, Brother Chinyu." The black-clad old man hurriedly greets Lien Chong. There are very few brothers whom Lien Chong calls friends who have gone through life and death together, so it is better to make friends with them. "Big brother Black Crow," Chinyu said immediately. After a round of conversation, Lien Chong lost his patience and immediately said, "Old Snake, my brother and I have to rush back to Devil Pang Island immediately. See you later." Of course. My Snake Island is always waiting for you too." The elder in black smiled. Immediately, Qin Yu rode the ink Qilin and headed for the Devil Pung Island with Lien Chong. With Lien Chong's guidance, Qin Yu finally got to know a large number of loose cultivator experts in the chaotic astral ocean. Those experts were very polite to Lien Chong, and Qin Yu's fame gradually spread in the chaotic astral ocean. A brother who has gone through life and death situations with Lien Chong, this is the first impression that Qin Yu gives to those loose practitioners in the chaotic astral ocean. Qin Yu, at least in the chaotic astral ocean, can be regarded as a number one figure. Many other fourth tribulation, fifth tribulation and even sixth tribulation loose practitioners have been in the chaotic astral ocean for a long time, but they are not famous. Fame indirectly represented a person's status. Brother Qin Yu, is this Qing Shui Island powerful? Haha, Brother Qin Yu, you definitely haven't seen the big forces in the chaotic astral ocean. In terms of experts, this Qing Shui Island is not even in the top 10 of the chaotic astral ocean. Lien Chong said carelessly. Just now, Qin Yu and the others passed by Qing Shui Island. The island master of Qing Shui Island was in closed-door training, so the vice master received him personally. Qin Yu also witnessed the power of Qing Shui Island. Qing Shui Island is tens of thousands of li long and wide, absolutely as big as a country. However, in the boundless chaotic astral ocean, tens of thousands of li of land can only be regarded as an island. However, there are more than 2,000 loose practitioners on Qing Shui Island, which of course shocked Qin Yu. More than 2,000 loose practitioners, this power is indeed very strong. Qin Yu said while shaking his head. Lien Chong stands in midair and points in all directions. Brother Qin Yu, there are quite a few powers in this chaotic astral ocean. The Qing Shui Island's 2,000 loose practitioners can be considered pretty good, but they accept all kinds of loose practitioners, including fourth tribulation loose practitioners. No matter how good or bad they are. You see, most of the 2,000 of them are fourth tribulation and fifth tribulation, and only 300 to 400 of them have passed the sixth tribulation. Lien Chong didn't care at all. Brother Qin Yu, the minimum requirement for the loose practitioners on the three big islands in the chaotic astral ocean is the sixth tribulation. This is called quality rather than quantity. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. Brother Lien Chong, I'm not too familiar with the other two of the three great islands. Why don't you introduce them to me, especially the second and third islands? In the last period of time, Lien Chong has been boasting about himself, so Qin Yu is quite familiar with the Devil Pung Island. As for the second island, Lianyun Island, and the third island, Haifeng Island, Qin Yu is not very familiar with them. This second island is called Lianyun Island. It also has 3 island masters and about 3,000 loose practitioners. The island master is a 12th tribulation loose immortal. The second island master and the third island master are loose demons and loose demons, both of whom have the power of 11th tribulation. Hey, Brother Qin Yu, don't underestimate this Lianyun Island. Its island master is not an ordinary loose immortal. Lien Chong says mysteriously. In fact, the island masters of the 3 big islands are not ordinary people. For example, my parents are loose devils of the devil path of Azura with the most powerful offensive power. The Lianyun Island Master focuses on formations and the study of pills. Moreover, he has a formation that allows the 3 island masters, loose immortals, loose demons and loose devils to join forces. Their power is extremely great. Qin Yu nods his head. To be able to be called a local tyrant, of course they have their own methods. Although some experts are only at the 11th tribulation, their actual offensive power may even surpass that of the 12th tribulation. As for the Haifeng Island, it's a bit weaker. It has 2 island masters who are 2 divine beasts, very rare divine beasts, fossilized beasts. Brother Qin Yu, these 2 divine beasts are both at the 11th tribulation, but their power is even greater than that of 12th tribulation experts. When the 2 brothers join forces, they are even more powerful. They are firmly known as the 3rd biggest power in the chaotic astral ocean. Lien Chong explains carefully. The 3 big islands are all extraordinary. Qin Yu praises. Humph, that's nothing. Perhaps the Drifting Cloud Island and the Haifeng Island can barely match my Devil Pung Island. Not to mention others, even if my big uncle fights alone, no one on the 2 islands can match him. My big uncle has super powerful offensive power, super powerful defense and super fast speed. He's absolutely invincible. Lien Chong starts to boast about his big uncle again. Qin Yu gives a faint smile. This is the 18th time Lien Chong has boasted about his big uncle on the journey. Offensive power, defensive power and speed. It's as if his big uncle is simply a perfect existence and other 12th tribulation experts are simply not on the same level in front of him. That's enough, brother Lien Chong, you've already said it more than 10 times. Qin Yu interrupts Lien Chong's boasting, then changes the subject, saying, right, now we're not far from the Devil Pang Island, right? Qin Yu has a map, so of course he knows the distance. He is just changing the subject. Yes, less than 100 million li haha. We'll arrive at the Devil Pang Island very soon. Brother Qin Yu, you've always been amazed by the other small islands on the way. When you see the Devil Pang Island, you'll know why it's different from the rest and why it's called the number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean. Lien Chong says confidently. Qin Yu looks doubtfully at Lien Chong. Could it be you still have some secret that you haven't told me? Haha, when you arrive at the Devil Pang Island, you'll know. Lien Chong pretends to be mysterious. Riding the black Qilin, Qin Yu and Lien Chong rush towards the Devil Pang Island effortlessly. If they use teleportation, they will arrive very quickly. Only the 2 of them are enjoying the scenery along the way, so they are not in a hurry. In the sky above Mount Qingshu on the Tenglong continent, he is wearing a moon-white robe. His long hair is only slightly tied up with a straw rope. His long hair, which reaches his back, is wantonly fluttering in the breeze among the clouds. Those eyes are like deep pools of water. His lips are red and teeth white like those of a beauty who can topple cities. This is the Qingshu Temple's number 1 expert, 12th Tribulation Loose Immortal Reverend Ming Liang. Reverend Ming Liang's lips are very thin and he has a unique temperament. Many female loose immortals worship him very much. It's just that he likes to travel alone. Even in the chaotic astral ocean, Reverend Ming Liang ranks in the top 10. Stepping on an auspicious cloud, he arrives outside the Qingshu Temple's Heavenly Palace's protective Grand Formation. Outside the Grand Formation, Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lon Bing, Shan Chu and the other loose immortals are all waiting respectfully for him. Senior brother. Reverend Ming Shan immediately bows and says, Brother Ming Liang. Seeing him, Reverend Lon Bing's eyes have a hint of joy. Uncle Master. Shan Chu and the others all bow and say. Reverend Ming Liang's face has a smile like a spring breeze. Reverend Lon Bing has come to help. Ming Liang can't thank you enough. Ming Liang speaks to Reverend Lon Bing first. Reverend Lon Bing immediately says with a smile, Since the immortal world has sent an order, we naturally have to get into action. Brother Ming Liang, you don't have to do this. Reverend Ming Liang says with a nod, Junior brother, let's return to Heavenly Palace first. If there's anything, we'll talk about it later. After returning to Heavenly Palace, Reverend Ming Liang sits in the main seat. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lon Bing sit in the first seats on the left. Behind them are Shan Chu and the others. Gon Su is also lucky enough to sit in the last seat. Everybody, I already know the general situation. The 3 ink paintings are related to the legendary Ni Yang's realm. Shan Chu, tell me again in detail what you said that day with the Stellar Towers expert. Reverend Ming Liang's expression is somewhat serious. Especially the part where you asked him whether he knew me. Shan Chu is startled. Could it be Uncle Master was angry because the other side looked down on him? That should not be the case. Uncle Master is not that kind of person. Without thinking too much, Shan Chu says carefully, Uncle Master, that day we were intimidated by that Senior Lan's power, so we brought you out to intimidate him. But later, that Senior Lan said that Uncle Master was a nobody. Of course I was furious. I said that Uncle Master was a 12th Tribulation loose immortal. Even the masters of the 3 big islands in the chaotic astral ocean would not dare to look down on him. What right did Senior Lan have to say that Uncle Master was a nobody? Reverend Ming Liang raises his eyebrows and says, "Go on. Say the next sentence carefully." Shan Chu feels that Reverend Ming Liang values him. He immediately ponders for a while. This loose immortal's memory is indeed formidable. Shan Chu imitates Uncle Lan's tone and says, "Did he say Reverend Ming Liang? I don't know him, but I do know the little golden pang of the 3 big islands." "Uncle Master, it was this sentence," Shan Chu says respectfully. Reverend Ming Liang frowns. Little golden pang. Reverend Ming Liang's pupils, which were originally like deep pools of water, now shine brightly. Suddenly, Reverend Ming Liang's body shakes and his expression changes. Could it be that the little golden pang is impossible? Could it be? Reverend Ming Liang mutters to himself in a low voice. He does not say it completely clearly. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lon Bing on one side both appear somewhat doubtful. Reverend Ming Liang gives a faint smile and resumes his usual expression. He says with an indifferent smile, "All right, I already know about this matter. For the time being, we won't ask for that ink painting of the Stella Towers Qin Yu. Our current goal is that ink painting of the Inue Palace." "Junior brother, how's the investigation going?" Reverend Ming Liang asks. Reverend Ming Shan says with a nod, "Don't worry, senior brother. Everything is under control. That ink painting is most likely in the possession of that Inue Palace's Dame Lien Yu. Now the loose devil experts of the Xiaomo path still haven't hurried back. We should hurry up." Reverend Ming Liang stands up and says with a long sigh, "Hurry up? Junior brother, Reverend Lon Bing, tonight we'll immediately set off for the Inue Palace. We definitely can't waste any time. If we're a day late and Wu Kongxue returns, that'll be terrible." Reverend Ming Liang immediately says. At the moment it is already evening. When Reverend Ming Liang says we'll set off at night, it is very obvious that we'll set off in a little while. Wu Kongxue. Devil King Wu Kongxue. Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lon Bing, Shan Chu and the others all cry out in alarm. This Wu Kongxue's great name still has a very terrifying deterrent force. Yes, this is the news I just received. This time Wu Kongxue will return to the Tanglong continent. In the past, Wu Kongxue fought the second master of the Devil Pang Island to a draw. There's no need to talk about how strong he is. Even if I were to fight him, I'd probably only have a 50% chance of winning. Reverend Ming Liang is also somewhat afraid of this Wu Kongxue. After all, Wu Kongxue's deeds are a bit too shocking. Whether it's slaughtering a large number of Xiationists to practice devil techniques, or some glorious deeds in the chaotic astral ocean, or even fighting the second master of the Devil Pang Island, Wu Kongxue's deeds are a bit too shocking. That's why I rushed back as fast as I could. According to my estimation, Wu Kongxue shouldn't have rushed back yet. Therefore, we must seize the most advantageous time for us. Even though Shui Yuyang of the Lanyang School and Reverend Qi Yang of the Ziyang School have yet to arrive on our side, there are even more loose devils on the Devil Path side who haven't arrived yet. Reverend Ming Liang's eyes shine like the rising sun. This time, we must succeed in one fell swoop and seize the ink-wash painting from my hands, giving us Xiaxianists an advantage. Reverend Ming Liang's words are very soft, but they contain absolute firmness. Reverend Lon Bing and Reverend Ming Shan exchange a look. Obviously, both of them have made preparations. Not long after Reverend Ming Liang returns to the Heavenly Palace, when the sky has just darkened, 3 silhouettes turn into rainbows and fly towards the Inue Palace, the current number 1 Xiamoist sect. Chapter 232. The Misty Hall of the Inue Palace of the Tanglong continent occupies an extremely large area. In addition to the main hall in the center, there were also dozens of small palaces around it. They were intertwined with each other and contained a mysterious array. Ever since the order of the Devil World's Devil Emperor was passed down, the experts of various Xiamoist sects have gathered in the Inue Palace. Some extremely formidable loose devils have hurried back from the chaotic astral ocean. Because the journey is long, it will take some time for them to get back. At this moment, in Dame Lien Yu's residence. Big brother Wu Hei, with you helping us, at least this heaven-sundering diagram of mine will be taken away by others. Dame Lien Yu said to a black-clothed man sitting next to her. Wu Hei's face was like a rock sculpture, and the curves of his muscles were almost perfect. He exuded an aura of absolute power. This was Wu Hei, a lone loose devil, a giant of the demonic path. Sister Lien Yu, don't worry about this heaven-sundering diagram. No matter who comes, they won't be able to take it away. All right, in a few days, will the messenger of the devil world be like you said? Wu Hei seemed to be very concerned about this matter. Right. Dame Lien Yu nods and says, Big brother Wu Hei, I didn't even tell my sect about this. This Ni Yang's realm was of great importance. Not only were there devil emperor-level experts, even the various great emperor-level experts of the immortal realm and the demon realm were vainly trying to obtain it. Therefore, we can't do it by ourselves. It won't be long before the demonic realm emissary passes through the spatial barrier and arrives at the mortal world. Wu Hei's eyes lit up and he nodded slightly. Dame Lien Yu says doubtfully, Big brother Wu Hei, there's something I don't know whether I should ask or not. Ask away, Wu Hei said heroically. Dame Lien Yu speaks out the doubts in her heart. Big brother Wu Hei, I've discovered that you seem to attach great importance to the descent of the devil world's emissary. I wonder what's the reason? Wu Hei smiled. Ha ha. Lien Yue, I won't answer this question for the time being. Let me ask you, did that Wu Kongxue also agree to help you this time? Wu Hei asked in reply. Yes, how did you know? Dame Lien Yu was astonished. Wu Hei had just arrived at the Misty Hall not long ago and Dame Lien Yu had not had the time to tell him about this matter. Haha, of course I know. Because Wu Kongxue and I have both come to help you for the same reason. Wu Hei said with a mysterious smile. Dame Lien Yu was astonished. Both Wu Hei and Wu Kongxue are loose devils with the nature of lone rangers. Even though the devil realm emissary had ordered Wu Hei and Wu Kongxue not to serve him, they still came. Dame Lien Yu had always been puzzled. Now it seems that it was for the same reason. I can't tell you this secret for the time being, but I can tell you a secret as compensation. Wu Hei said solemnly to Dame Lien Yu. Tell her another secret as compensation? Dame Lien Yu listened attentively. Sister Lien Yu, let me tell you something. Nowadays, the Xiamoists on the Tanglong continent use the most basic Xiamoist techniques. They belong to the basic nature of Xiamoists. There are 3 kinds of real Xiamoist techniques. Wu Hei pretends to be mysterious. Dame Lien Yu was startled. Are the techniques of the current devil cultivators the most basic? Big brother Wu Hei, what do you mean by that? Dame Lien Yu is shocked. Wu Hei says with an indifferent smile, You're also an 11th tribulation loose devil. When you ascend to the devil world, you'll also know. In the devil world, there were only 3 types of truly powerful devil Dao cultivation methods. One was the black devil path, the other was the blood devil path, and the last was the Azura devil path. I practiced the first one, Wu Kongxue practiced the second one. The second and third masters of the Devil Pang Island practiced the third one. Dame Lien Yu is startled. For a while, she is unable to say anything. It turns out, all the Xiamoists on the Tanglong continent practice the most basic Xiamoists. The 3 powerful devil Dao cultivation methods are the other 3. No wonder, no wonder. Dame Lien Yu murmurs. No wonder big brother Wu Hei, Wu Kongxue and the second and third masters of the Devil Pang Island are so powerful. They're much more powerful than experts of the same level. Wu Hei, Wu Kongxue and the Devil Pang Island's twin Azura devils are all giants of the Devil Dao. Many people find it strange that other loose devils of the same level are not so powerful. But these several people are so powerful, much more powerful than experts of the same level. Only now do they know that Wu Hei, Wu Kongxue and the others practice the 3 most powerful devil Dao cultivation methods. Wu Kongxue and I both came here because of the devil Dao cultivation methods. Haha. I won't say any more. If I do, I won't have any more secrets. Haha. Wu Hei says with a clear laugh. Dame Lian Yu stands up and says smilingly, Big brother Wu Hei, I'm already very grateful to you for telling me these things. How can I be greedy? Big brother Wu Hei, my Lian Yu hall is pretty big. You live in the west room. Is that okay? Wu Hei nods. Dame Lian Yu had no choice but to ask Wu Hei to live in her place. After all, the heaven-sundering diagram is in this Lian Yu hall. The defense of this place must be at its maximum. These past few days, Dame Lian Yu has been worried that the Xiationists or the Dragon Clan will come to snatch it. Now that Wu Hei has come, Dame Lian Yu can relax a bit. Wu Hei's power is still extremely strong. 3 silhouettes slowly descend from the sky. Their surroundings are blurry. Obviously, they have used some kind of invisibility spell. Reverend Lan Bing, junior brother, things are a bit bad. That Wu Hei has come. Reverend Ming Liang slightly frowns and says via his immortal sense at the same time. Reverend Ming Liang is a 12th tribulation loose immortal. With a sweep of his immortal sense, he discovers Wu Hei's appearance. Wu Hei's appearance is a variable. As soon as Reverend Lan Bing and Reverend Ming Shan hear this, their faces change color. It's true that Wu Hei is an 11th tribulation loose devil, but he is not an ordinary 11th tribulation loose devil. Luckily, Reverend Ming Liang also has a special skill. Against Wu Kongxue, I have a 50% chance of winning. Against this Wu Hei, I have absolute confidence. But if he wants to escape, it'll be very hard for me to stop him. Well, junior brother, Reverend Lan Bing, I'll have to trouble you too to pin down this Wu Hei. I'll kill Lian Yu in one stroke. Reverend Ming Liang entrusts them solemnly. I don't ask you to do anything to Wu Hei. I only need you to pin him down, just pin him down, so that he won't disturb me. Are you sure? Reverend Ming Liang looks at the two of them, waiting for their answers. Ming Shan says smilingly, Don't worry, senior brother. Even though that Wu Hei is formidable and Reverend Lan Bing and I aren't necessarily a match for him, even if we join hands, we're still sure to pin him down. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing have an extremely good relationship. In the chaotic astral ocean, the two of them often join hands, so they also have their own tricks. Very good. This battle must be finished quickly. That illusionary formation outside the Misty Hall can't be considered formidable. Given the power of the three of us, it won't be hard for us to break into it. But there are some loose devils living in the various small palaces inside the Misty Hall. The weakest among them is an 8th tribulation loose devil. Therefore, if we don't succeed at the beginning, those 8th and 9th tribulation loose devils will surround us and it'll be even harder for us to succeed. Reverend Ming Liang says the main point. The battle must be finished quickly. Once there is a deadlock, this is the headquarters of Xiamoists, so it will be advantageous for the Xioma side. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing nod. All right, let's go. In an instant, 3 beams of light pierce through the illusionary formation outside the Misty Hall, then easily float into the Lian Yu Hall like blue smoke. In the Lian Yu Hall, Dame Lian Yu lives in the East Room and Wu Hei lives in the West Room. Reverend Ming Liang directly rushes into the East Room while Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing, holding immortal swords, stand outside the door of the West Room and do not take the initiative to attack. Dame Lian Yu, who is sitting cross-legged on the bed, suddenly opens her eyes. A purple feather fan appears in her hand. A purple brilliance flows from one side of the feather fan to the other. She sees that speck of starlight shooting towards her extremely fast. Ming Liang. Dame Lian Yu's face changes color greatly. What she sees is not only that terrifying speck of starlight but also Reverend Ming Liang's ice-cold gaze. Immediately, boom. The earth quakes and the mountains shake. The Lian Yu Hall unexpectedly explodes all of a sudden. This explosion occurs in the East Room, which is precisely the place where Dame Lian Yu and Reverend Ming Liang are fighting. From the moment Reverend Ming Liang rushed into the East Room, this explosion occurred in just the blink of an eye. Get lost. A furious roar rises from the West Room. A 5 to 6 m tall giant man with bulging muscles and black chi all over his body soars into the sky. He raises a huge black axe high in his hand. It is precisely Wu Hei after using the Black Devil Path technique. His bravery is unstoppable. Reverend Lan Bing and Reverend Ming Shan simply do not dare to face this Wu Hei head-on. Speak, where is the inkwash painting? Reverend Ming Liang grabs a Yuanying and uses his immortal sense to transmit his voice. This Yuanying is precisely Dame Lien Yu's Yuanying. At this moment, her power has been greatly damaged and her Yuanying also appears somewhat dried up. Dame Lien Yu's Yuanying still has fear in her eyes. For the people of the Devil Realm, is it worth it? If you speak, I definitely won't kill you. If you don't speak, you'll definitely die. If you die, then everything will be for naught. Reverend Ming Liang still has an indifferent appearance, but his immortal sense transmission does not have the slightest bit of emotion. When he captured Dame Lien Yu, Reverend Ming Liang already knew that the inkwash painting was definitely not on her because his immortal elemental energy had completely penetrated her Yuanying. Even if I die, I won't speak. Dame Lien Yu smiles. How could she possibly have the heaven-sundering diagram on her? She believes that even if Reverend Ming Liang kills a large number of experts, he still won't be able to find the heaven-sundering diagram. Dame Lien Yu cannot speak. If she does, when the Devil Realm emissary arrives in the mortal world and sees that the heaven-sundering diagram has disappeared, he will definitely vent his anger on the Inoue Palace. Moreover, even if she speaks, if she doesn't die now, the Devil Realm emissary will kill her. If she doesn't speak now, she will die. The Devil Realm emissary will instead reward the Inoue Palace later. If you don't speak, very well. Reverend Ming Liang's eyes, which are as serene as a deep pool, flash with a swift and fierce brilliance. At this moment, the berserk Wu Hei is charging straight at Reverend Ming Liang with an indomitable will. Everything that obstructs him will be destroyed without exception. When Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing encounter such a valiant character, they can't even pin him down. The sea is vast and boundless, but the seawater of the chaotic astral ocean unexpectedly also calmly rises and falls slowly. That dense Lingqi simply makes Qin Yu feel it hard to believe. Brother Qin Yu, that. Lien Chong points to a huge island in the distance in high spirits. Is my home, the Devil Pang Island. The Devil Pang Island is very large, almost as large as the Qianlong continent's 3 big dynasties put together. Of course, most of the Qianlong continent's area is the wilderness. The Devil Pang Island, Master. I've finally arrived at the legendary Devil Pang Island. The Black Qilin is obviously very excited. Originally, it was really too far away from the Devil Pang Island. Even with its power, it did not dare to cross such a long distance. Qin Yu takes a deep breath. The Devil Pang Island really deserves to be called. Qin Yu praises. Even though he is standing at a distance, Qin Yu can still clearly feel that huge aura. To Qin Yu, that huge aura is like a peerless ferocious beast to an ordinary mortal. The Devil Pang Island is divided into the outer area, the inner area and the core area. The outer area is for 6th Tribulation and 7th Tribulation loose devils. The inner area is for 8th Tribulation and 9th Tribulation experts. The core area is for 10th Tribulation and higher. Lien Chong introduces casually. Of course Lien Chong knows the Devil Pang Island very well. The core area is divided into 2 areas. One is my uncle's residence, Golden Wing Palace. The other is my parents' residence, Azura Palace. Brother Qin Yu, my uncle is proud and aloof by nature. He doesn't even think highly of ordinary 11th Tribulation or 12th Tribulation loose practitioners. It's very hard to say who he likes. So when you arrive at the core area, you'd better not enter the range of Golden Wing Palace without permission. Lien Chong says solemnly. Qin Yu knows Lien Chong means well, so he says with a nod, "Don't worry. I definitely won't go in without permission." Qin Yu, however, becomes curious about the owner of the Devil Pang Island in his heart. He's an invincible being in the legends. Even 12th Tribulation experts are far from being his match. What kind of person is he? Qin Yu thinks to himself. Right at this moment, Several hundred people fly out extremely fast from the inside of the Devil Pang Island in 2 groups and arrive in front of Qin Yu, Lien Chong and the others. Young master. The 2 black-clad middle-aged men at the head of the 2 groups say smilingly. Both of them are 11th tribulation experts. Where's my father and mother? Lien Chong looks into the distance. He doesn't believe that his parents won't come here extremely fast after he has come back from a life-and-death situation. The 2 black-clad middle-aged men at the head of the 2 groups both smile and look back. The man is handsome and the woman is beautiful. A man and a woman who look like they are in their 20s fly extremely fast from the inside of the Devil Pang Island side by side. Seeing Lien Chong in the distance, their eyes naturally radiate pleasant surprise. Chong, father, mother. Lien Chong's eyes unexpectedly turn red. He rushes directly into his parents' arms and hugs them tightly. Chapter 233. This must be my son's savior, little brother Qin Yu. The beautiful woman with a hint of heroic spirit stares at Qin Yu and says with a smile. Qin Yu knows that the woman in front of him is Lien Chong's mother, the second master of the Devil Pang Island and the 12th tribulation loose devil Hu Yi. Before arriving at the Devil Pang Island, Lien Chong introduced his parents in detail. When Qin Yu is about to say something, Lien Chong says, "Mother, this is my good brother Qin Yu. I didn't tell him clearly when I sent him a message. You didn't know at that time, but when I was undergoing the loose devil tribulation, I had to exhaust all of my power to resist the 5 thunderbolts. At that time, I was already in despair. At the last moment, brother Qin Yu appeared and gave me an eternal creation pill. Mother, you didn't know this, but that eternal creation pill's effect is astonishing. As soon as I swallowed it, my power was completely restored in a breath's time. The second master is Hu Yi and the third master is Lien Xiao. When the husband and wife communicated with Lien Chong through their transmitters, they only knew that a man called Qin Yu had saved their son. As for the details, they did not mention it in their transmitters. They wanted to wait until they met each other to talk about it in detail. Chong, Hearing what Lien Chong said, Hu Yi and Lien Xiao cannot help feeling a burst of lingering fear. Obviously, if Qin Yu had been a bit later, their son would have been gone when the 6th bolt of sky thunder struck. Little brother Qin Yu, you saved my son and spent such a precious pill as the eternal creation pill. My wife and I really can't repay your kindness. Little brother Qin Yu, please come to my Azura Palace to rest first and let Chong accompany you. Tomorrow, my wife and I will definitely repay you handsomely. Hu Yi says solemnly. Spending an eternal creation pill comparable to a spirit tribulation pill to save her son's life. How great of a kindness is this? The third master, Lien Xiao, smiles at his wife. In fact, the reason why the 2 of them came out this time was to prepare gifts to thank Qin Yu, but now they really cannot bring them out. The eternal creation pill can restore all power in one breath. Such a pill is tantamount to a second life when undergoing the tribulation. How precious was this? Just think about how Lienyun Island treated the tribulation spirit pill with the same effect so seriously. Although the gift prepared by the couple was very precious, there was still a gap when compared to the eternal creation pill. With their status, they naturally wouldn't give Qin Yu a gift that couldn't compare to the eternal creation pill. Brother Qin Yu, let's go. Follow me. I'll show you around the Devil Pang Island. Lien Chong was about to bring Qin Yu in. Wait. Where did this Qilin come from? How can Devil Pang Island be a place where you can enter as you please? One of the leaders of the 2 groups of people who welcomed Lien Chong shouted at the Ink Qilin. Uncle Ya, that's my brother Qin Yu's holy beast. Lien Chong appears to be somewhat annoyed. Spirit beast? Hu Yi and Lien Xiao were both shocked. Spirit beasts were not precious in the immortal and devil world, but they were almost impossible to find in the mortal world. That's because spirit beast collars are too rare. Father, mother, this spirit beast was tamed by my brother Qin Yu with great difficulty. Of course, that's because he had a spirit beast collar. Otherwise, no matter how powerful he was, he wouldn't have been able to tame a spirit beast. Lien Chong explained. Spirit beast collar. Hu Yi and Lien Xiao looked at Qin Yu in a different light. Eternal creation pill. Spirit beast collar. Even in the chaotic astral ocean, there weren't many people who could take them out. However, Qin Yu, a youngster who hadn't even reached the Deshang stage, had them. This made people doubt his background. Okay, brother Qin Yu, let's go. I'll take you to Devil Pung Island to have a good look. Lien Chong said and flew directly into the Devil Pung Island with Qin Yu. Hu Yi and Lien Chong stood side by side in the air. Looking at Qin Yu and their son, their eyes flashed with an indescribable light. Madam, it seems, this little brother Qin Yu has a lot of secrets. Lien Chong said with a smile. Hu Yi nodded and muttered, This Qin Yu is really mysterious. Especially when he saw the two of us at the beginning, he didn't show any fear or surprise. Who is Hu Yi? She is a 12th Tribulation Loose Devil, the second master of the Devil Pung Island. Generally, even 5th or 6th Tribulation Loose Immortals and Loose Devils would tremble with fear when they see Hu Yi. However, Qin Yu seemed to have seen an ordinary person. Husband, don't think too much. Now we have to think carefully about what gift to give to Qin Yu. The Eternal Creation Pill is a precious treasure equivalent to a second life. He also saved my son's life. What should we give him to thank him? Hu Yi also became distressed. Even as the second master of the Devil Pang Island, at the moment she is also distressed about this matter. After all, the other party spent an Eternal Creation Pill to save her son. The third master, Lien Xiao, also frowned. What gift should they give to Qin Yu? At the moment, Qin Yu and Lien Chong are strolling around the Devil Pung Island. The Devil Pung Island is extremely large, comparable to the total size of the 3 dynasties of the Qianlong continent. However, its population is only more than 3,000 people. Therefore, the population density is extremely low. There are palaces, bewildering formations, illusory formations, killing formations, absolute formations, small bridges, flowing water, jade palaces, pavilions and terraces. The loose practitioners of the Devil Pang Island are at least 6 tribulation experts. Given their power, they can excavate huge stones to build palaces and immortals' caves with a wave of their hands. In the outer area of the Devil Pang Island, there are various styles of immortals' caves and palaces. There are also some peculiar formations. This is the outer area of the Devil Pung Island. However, the inner area is different. Apart from a large formation as a whole, there are no other formations in the inner area. It is like a paradise. After stepping into the core area of the Devil Pung Island, Qin Yu feels an astonishing amount of elemental holy energy. Ha, do you feel something peculiar? Brother Qin Yu, the core area of the Devil Pung Island is a lode of elemental holy rock. In the mortal world, only the chaotic astral ocean has elemental holy rock. The biggest lode is in the core area of the Devil Pung Island. This is also the reason why my big uncle used this place as his residence. Lien Chong says proudly. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. He begins to ponder. A lode of elemental holy rock? Then, does that mean there should be top-grade elemental holy rock here? Qin Yu's heart begins to heat up. I have a sword immortal puppet. It's just that it has to consume top-grade elemental holy rock. Even top-grade elemental holy rock won't work. But the sword immortal puppet is also very powerful. With 1 piece, I'll be a level 1 golden immortal. With 2 pieces, I'll be able to exert the power of a level 2 golden immortal. At this moment, Qin Yu begins to celebrate that he has stepped into the Devil Pung Island. Brother Lien Chong, how big is this lode of elemental holy rock? Qin Yu asks. Lien Chong thinks for a while and says, You see, the core area of the Devil Pung Island is only several hundred li in circumference. But this lode of elemental holy rock is only several tens li in circumference. Qin Yu is startled. Aren't you very shocked? Lien Chong says proudly, There are only a few lodes in the chaotic astral ocean. This is the biggest one. The smallest one is only a few li in circumference. Qin Yu smiles bitterly in his heart. The biggest one? How big is the Qingyu Immortal Mansion? It is several tens of kilometers in both length and width. Just the Qingyu Immortal Mansion alone is as big as this load. Moreover, the Qingyu Immortal Mansion is only a huge elemental holy ore from that huge load of elemental holy rock. When Qin Yu was on the second floor of the treasure-storing tower of the Nine Swords Immortal Mansion, he obtained a lot of books and jade slips. Qin Yu understands one thing. In the immortal world, ordinary loads of elemental holy rock are several hundred li in circumference, even thousands or tens of thousands of li in circumference. In the immortal world, a load with a circumference of several tens of li can only be regarded as a tiny, not worth mentioning at all. However, a tiny load of elemental holy rock that is not worth mentioning in the immortal world is known as the number one load of elemental holy rock in the mortal world. The smaller the load, the less elemental holy rock that can be mined. At the same time, the higher the grade of elemental holy rock will be lower. Qin Yu knows this very well in his heart. He immediately asks Lian Chong, "Brother Lian Chong, has top-grade elemental holy rock ever been mined from this load?" Top grade? Lian Chong opens his eyes wide. "Brother Qin Yu, do you know that even a single piece of low-grade elemental holy rock is extremely precious to a loose practitioner? A middle-grade elemental holy rock is equal to 100 low-grade elemental holy rock. A high-grade elemental holy rock is equal to 100 middle-grade elemental holy rock, and a top-grade elemental holy rock is equal to 100 high-grade elemental holy rock. Do you know the meaning of a top-grade elemental holy rock?" Lian Chong almost shouts at Qin Yu. Qin Yu certainly knows the preciousness of top-grade elemental holy rock. Generally, small loads of elemental holy rock that are only several tens of li in circumference may not even be able to mine top-grade elemental holy rock. Of course, there is also a possibility that it can be mined. According to the introduction in the books of the immortal world that Qin Yu obtained, generally, small loads of elemental holy rock that are 100 li in circumference may be mined. Loads of elemental holy rock that are 1,000 li in circumference may be mined from 10 odd top-grade elemental holy rock or even several tens of them. As for loads of elemental holy rock that are 10,000 li in circumference, they may contain elemental holy essence. Elemental holy essence is equal to 100 top-grade elemental holy rock. From this, one can imagine how rare and rare it is to carve such a huge elemental holy rock into Qingyu Immortal Mansion. It is also extremely precious in the immortal world. I know the meaning of top-grade elemental holy rock. I just want to ask if top-grade elemental holy rock has ever been mined. Qin Yu asks. Lian Chong thinks for a while. Well, it has been mined. It's been several thousand years. I once saw Big Uncle take out a top-grade elemental holy rock and show it to me. But afterwards he never showed it to me again. I don't know where he put it. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. That's good. In Qin Yu's Qingyu Immortal Mansion, those rockery, fountains, buildings and storehouses all have a large amount of elemental holy rock. There are even quite a lot of high-grade elemental holy rock, but there is no top-grade elemental holy rock. He can use a large amount of high-grade elemental holy rock to exchange for it, or he can use spiritual beast collars and middle-grade immortal weapons to exchange for it. Or he can use eternal creation pills to exchange for it. In Azura Palace and Golden Wing Palace face each other across a lake. Both of them have been built extremely large. At the moment, Qin Yu has been placed in an elegant two-story pavilion inside Azura Palace. In the hall on the first floor of this small pavilion, Lian Chong has just rushed over and says excitedly to Qin Yu, "Ha ha, Brother Qin Yu, good news. My big uncle is very curious about you. He asked me to take you to Golden Wing Palace to see him tomorrow." Lian Chong says excitedly, "The master of the Devil Pang Island?" Qin Yu asks in reply. Lian Chong nods his head. His expression becomes serious again. "Brother Qin Yu, before you go, there's something I have to warn you about. My big uncle is very proud and aloof. If you annoy him, even I won't be able to save you." Qin Yu knows that most experts have their own specialties. "Remember, when you see my big uncle, don't call him Island Master. Call him Senior Zong. Lien Chong says sonorously. Senior Zong. Qin Yu is doubtful. That's right. My big uncle doesn't like other people calling him Island Master. His name is Zong Ju. If you call him Senior Zong, he'll be very happy. This is the first point. Lien Chong instructs carefully. Qin Yu gives a forced smile in his heart. This is only the first point. Looks like the master of the Devil Pang Island is really eccentric. The second point is, don't be too humble. My big uncle hates servile people the most. Lien Chong says again. Interesting, interesting. Your big uncle is really interesting. Qin Yu bursts out laughing. Suddenly he feels that this legendary invincible expert is really peculiar. Lien Chong says mysteriously, Hey, brother Qin Yu, do you know why this island is called the Devil Pang Island? Why? Hey, the Devil Pang Island. The word mo is related to my parents. And the word pang is related to my big uncle's original body, a super divine beast, golden-winged giant Pang. Lien Chong's eyes brighten. Golden-winged giant Pang, a super divine beast? There's a super divine beast? Qin Yu has always been very puzzled about the ranks of divine beasts. For example, he knows that black dragons are more powerful than azure dragons. But what's the difference between divine beasts? Ha, brother Qin Yu, you don't even know the ranks of divine beasts. Then I'll tell you clearly. Divine beasts are divided into 4 ranks. Lien Chong says everything he knows. As for Qin Yu, he was listening carefully. For example, the dragon clan's azure dragons, red dragons, blue dragons and the vast majority of other divine beasts are all low-level divine beasts. They account for 90% of the divine beasts. Black dragons, silver dragons, 3 blue-eyed toads, dragon rocky lions, fiery rocky lions, Zhichu, 9-headed snakes and so on are all middle-level divine beasts. Golden dragons, heavenly rats and so on are high-level divine beasts. High-level divine beasts can already be considered extremely rare and precious. They have inherited memories and are extremely powerful. Lien Chong takes a deep breath. Finally, there's the rarest super divine beasts. Qin Yu's attention is completely focused on this. Divine beasts are divided into birds, beasts and scaly beasts. Among them, there are golden-winged giant Pang, Phoenix and there seem to be 2 or 3 other kinds, but Big Uncle didn't tell me. Hearing this, Qin Yu understands that the master of the Devil Pang Island told Lien Chong all this knowledge about divine beasts. Among the scaly beasts, there's only one super divine beast, the 5-clawed golden dragon of the Dragon Clan. I'm very sure about this. Lien Chong says smilingly, finally, there's the beasts on the ground. There are quite a few super divine beasts on the ground. I only know one. Fire Qilin. Fire Qilins are the same as phoenixes. They're both born naturally from flames. Chapter 234. In the early morning of the next day, the lake between Shura Palace and Golden Wing Palace is still misty. Qin Yu follows Lien Chong to Golden Wing Palace. The roof tiles of the Golden Wing Palace were golden in color. Other than that, the walls were thick and heavy black in color. Even before entering the Golden Wing Palace, Qin Yu already felt a chilly sensation engulfing his entire body. At the moment, Lien Chong also appears to be much more steady and serious. Big brother Lien Chong, master is already waiting for you in the back hall. A young man in gray with fierce eyes walks out from the main hall of Golden Wing Palace. The feeling his eyes give Qin Yu is like Xiao Hei's eyes. Lien Chong nods then says to Qin Yu, Brother Qin Yu, come with me. Qin Yu follows Lien Chong into Golden Wing Palace. The main hall of Golden Wing Palace is completely black. Only the pillars are bronze. It is very natural for people who enter to feel as if their hearts are being pressed down by a mountain. It is so heavy. After passing through the main hall, they arrive at the back hall. The back hall is decorated differently from the main hall. It is mainly mahogany and gold. All kinds of chairs are dark red and there are also some gold carvings. There is still a sense of steadiness, but it seems to be a bit more relaxed. He is wearing a moon-white silk robe. His long hair hangs softly over his shoulders. His eyes are very deep. Uncle, Lien Chong says respectfully. Is the person in front of him Zong Ju? Qin Yu carefully observes the person in front of him. From Lien Chong, Qin Yu knows that Zong Ju's true body is a golden-winged rock. Golden-winged rocks have very terrifying ferocity. Originally Qin Yu thought Zong Ju's momentum should be very fierce. At least his eyes should be as fierce as Xiao Hei's. Who would have thought it would be completely different from what he expected? On the contrary, Zong Ju's temperament is a bit like Uncle Lan's. Yes, it is Uncle Lan. The feeling Uncle Lan gives Qin Yu is that he does not give off the slightest pressure. It is like a spring breeze brushing his face or a drizzle touching his skin. It is very comfortable. It is very natural. Zong Ju, on the other hand, had a sense of pressure in his steadiness, the pressure of an invincible master. Senior Zong. Qin Yu also bowed. Zong Ju looked at Qin Yu carefully and nodded. Little brother Qin Yu's cultivation method is indeed strange and mysterious. It seems your master is not simple. All right, please take a seat. Sect. His cultivation method was indeed unique and mysterious. Qin Yu calmly sat down with Lien Chong. It was little brother Qin Yu who saved you this time, right? I'm very curious. Given your situation back then, even I wouldn't have been able to save you, unless I had the tribulation spirit pill. And I heard second sister and the others say that little brother Qin Yu seems to have the eternal creation pill. Zong Ju looked at Qin Yu, his gaze like water. The eternal creation pill can completely restore one's power in the time of a breath. Its effect is even much better than that of the tribulation spirit pill. After swallowing the tribulation spirit pill, one's power will gradually recover. The time it takes should be slightly longer than that of your eternal creation pill. Little brother Qin Yu, I'm very curious. Given my relationship with Lianyun Island Master, I know how hard it is to make the tribulation spirit pill and how rare the materials are. And when making it, the true fire in one's body must be at least a heaven fire. Little brother Qin Yu's power is not yet at the Dashang stage, so I'm afraid the true fire in your body is not a heaven fire. Then, this pill should have been made by a senior in your school. But why has this eternal creation pill never been famous for countless years? I hope little brother can clear up my confusion. Zong Ju said with a smile. Generally, only those who have reached the immortal, devil or demon stage can have true fire. But is it always so? Xiuxian, demonic and demon cultivators are all like this, but Qin Yu is different. Qin Yu did not say anything. He only stretched out his hand and a purple flame floated in Qin Yu's palm. His actions speak for themselves. Zong Ju laughed out loud. I didn't expect that I would make a fool of myself today. Ha ha. I didn't expect little brother's true fire to have reached the heaven fire level. Could it be that little brother's actions mean that this eternal creation pill was made by you? Qin Yu felt helpless. Eternal creation pill? However, any foundation building pill or jade green pill used for healing, or any of these most basic pills, would be fused with a miraculous elemental life force in Qin Yu's body to form the eternal creation pill. Wasn't this made by Qin Yu? But generally speaking, pills at the level of the eternal creation pill were very difficult to make. It was almost impossible for an expert at Qin Yu's level to make it. Of course, the first restriction was the heaven fire. Senior Zong, this medicinal pill was indeed made by this junior personally. It's just that this medicinal pill's secret recipe and concoction method were told to me by this junior's uncle. At the moment, Qin Yu can only push the responsibility of that miraculous concoction method to Uncle Lan. To say that it was made by himself is really too shocking. Uncle? Zong Ju's eyes brightened. You go back first. I have something to discuss with little brother Qin Yu. Zong Ju suddenly said to Lien Chong. Could it be that his uncle wants the refining method of the eternal creation pill? Lien Chong was shocked. Between the eternal creation pill and the refining method of the eternal creation pill, which one is more precious? As long as there is nothing wrong with your brain, you will know the answer. Once he had the method to refine the eternal creation pill, he would be able to refine one pill after another. No matter what, I can't let little brother Qin Yu's refining method be taken away by force. Lien Chong was very grateful to Qin Yu. He did not want to make things difficult for Qin Yu. Lien Chong looked at Qin Yu and then at Zhong Ju, saying, "Uncle, don't make things difficult for little brother Qin Yu. This time he saved my life." "Don't worry. How could your uncle be that kind of person?" Zhong Ju said indifferently. Lien Chong's heart calmed down. His uncle always acts honorably. With his status, how could he do such a thing by force? It was his own imagination that was running wild. "Uncle, I'll take my leave now." Lien Chong smiled at Qin Yu, then immediately left the back hall. Only Qin Yu and Zhong Ju were left in the back hall. Qin Yu looked at Zhong Ju. This is the absolute #1 figure in the chaotic astral ocean, an invincible legendary expert. Why did he want to talk to him alone? Zhong Ju said with a smile, "Little brother Qin Yu, I don't have any other intentions by talking to you alone. I just want to know one thing. The uncle little brother Qin you mentioned, is he Senior Lan?" Zhong Ju's eyes instantly became fierce as he stared at Qin Yu. "Did you say Uncle Lan?" Qin Yu was startled. "You also know Uncle Lan?" "Ha ha, as I expected, apart from Senior Lan, I really couldn't think of anyone who could create such a technique to let a Dujie stage person have a heavenly flame. Moreover, he also created such a technique as the Eternal Fortune Pill. If it's Senior Lan, then I'm not the least bit surprised," Zhong Ju said with a clear laugh. Qin Yu suddenly felt that the Zhong Ju in front of him no longer gave him pressure like a moment ago. On the contrary, he was a lot closer to him. Everything was because of Uncle Lan. "Senior Zhong, that's not the case. This martial technique that I'm training in was created by my master. It was not created by Uncle Lan," Qin Yu said seriously. Although his master Lei Wei was only at the middle Dujie stage when he died, but this technique was created by him after all. Zhong Ju was startled. He immediately burst into laughter and said, "There's no difference. Since he's your master, he should also be related to Senior Lan. They're both reclusive experts." Qin Yu wanted to say that his master's power was far inferior to Uncle Lan's, but Qin Yu didn't say much. Let Zhong Ju think so. Fate. I really didn't expect that your uncle was Senior Lan." Zhong Ju's face was full of smiles. Ever since Zhong Ju knew about the relationship between Qin Yu and Uncle Lan, his attitude towards Qin Yu changed greatly. He became very cordial. Even Lien Chong found it strange. Why would his arrogant uncle take such special care of Qin Yu? How would Lien Chong know about the relationship between Uncle Lan and Zhong Ju? Even Qin Yu didn't know about the relationship between Uncle Lan and Zhong Ju. Zhong Ju called him Senior Lan. What's the relationship between the two of them? Second Island Master Hu Yi and Third Island Master Lien Shao originally said that they would give Qin Yu treasures as thanks on the second day he arrived at Devil Pang Island. However, even after a few days, the Second Island Master Hu Yi and the Third Island Master Lien Shao did not appear. One day, in the middle of the lake between Golden Wing Palace and Azura Palace, there was a pavilion. This pavilion was alone in the middle of the lake and there was no passage leading to it. As for Qin Yu, he stepped into the air and flew over. He directly arrived at the pavilion. Sitting in the pavilion, feeling the energy of the sun's core in his body being refined and purified, Qin Yu felt that he could reach the middle stage of passing calamity in another 10 days to half a month. Once he reaches the middle stage of passing calamity, the 9 from 9th Heaven Tribulation will follow. 9 from 9th Heaven Tribulation. Can I successfully pass it? Even the 5-clawed Golden Dragon and Senior Zhong Ju failed. On the contrary, the Azure Dragon of the Dragon Clan and some ordinary self-cultivators succeeded. 9 from 9th Heaven Tribulation. I really don't have the slightest confidence. Qin Yu let out a long sigh. 9, from 9th heaven tribulation, the stronger the power, the higher the talent. The more terrifying the power of the 9, from 9th heaven tribulation is. The 5-clawed golden dragon and the golden-winged roc are both super-divine beasts, but they didn't succeed in passing the 9, from 9th heaven tribulation. On the contrary, the 3 azure dragons of the dragon clan and many ordinary self-cultivators all succeeded in passing the 9, from 9th heaven tribulation. When a self-cultivator reaches the middle stage of passing calamity, they will have to face their own 9, from 9th heaven tribulation. Even though they are both 9, from 9th heaven tribulations, the power of each is as different as heaven and earth. Who dares to say who can pass it steadily? No one dares to say. Qin Yu ponders in his heart, while the sun's core in his dantian is being refined and purified. The Azura Palace family of 3 is distressed together. No, although these Lingji mushrooms are precious, they are nothing compared to the eternal creation pill. Elemental holy rock? Elemental holy rock is okay, but father, mother, you only have so much elemental holy rock, are you willing to part with it? Lien Chong says to his parents. Lien Xiao and Hu Yi have been distressed over this gift for several days. No matter what the gift is, they feel that it cannot compare to their son's life plus the eternal creation pill. Elemental holy rock. What harm is there in giving these 2 high-grade elemental holy rock to little brother Qin Yu? As long as he is satisfied, your mother and I will at least have peace of mind. Lien Xiao says seriously. Zionist do not like to owe people favors, which has a great impact on the cultivation of the mind. Lien Chong says with a shake of his head, Father, mother, don't forget that brother Qin Yu is not a loose immortal, loose devil or loose demon. He is only a passing calamity stage Zionist. He simply cannot use elemental holy rock. Giving him elemental holy rock is of no use at all. Lien Xiao and Hu Yi are startled. They immediately smile bitterly. Right, Qin Yu is not a loose cultivator, nor is he a celestial immortal, celestial devil or celestial demon. He simply cannot absorb elemental holy rock's energy. If Qin Yu could absorb elemental holy rock's energy, he would have done so long ago. Why would he bother to go to the chaotic astral ocean to kill some ominous beasts? Madam, whatever you and I have collected for 10,000 years, Qin Yu can choose. We can even let him take all of it. How about this? Lien Xiao has been forced into a corner. Some of the ores and medicinal herbs in his possession are very precious, but they cannot compare with the eternal creation pill. Fine. Hu Yi also agrees. The 2 of them are 11th tribulation and 12th tribulation loose devils. At this stage, they do not have much demand for external objects. What harm is there in giving all of them to Qin Yu? Moreover, as long as the Devil Pang Island exists, with their status, what kind of materials will they not be able to find? Lien Chong ponders for a while, then nods. Well, that's the only way. The 3 of them then head straight for Qin Yu's place. The treasures collected for 10,000 years by the 2 island masters of the Devil Pang Island are now ready for Qin Yu to choose. Chapter 235. In the pavilion at the center of the lake, Lien Xiao, Hu Yi and Lien Chong soar into the air and fly directly into the pavilion. Qin Yu, who is quietly pondering, raises his head and immediately stands up with a smile. Seniors, what's the matter? Qin Yu asks. In fact, Qin Yu has more or less guessed it in his mind. Little brother Qin Yu, you spent a precious eternal creation pill to save my son. My wife and I are endlessly grateful. But after being troubled for a few days, we really can't think of anything to express our gratitude. So, an interspatial ring flies out from Lien Xiao's finger. This is my interspatial ring. Inside it is my collection for 10,000 years. There are elemental holy stones, all kinds of precious medicinal herbs for refining medicines and also some ores for refining weapons. Little brother Qin, you can choose as much as you want. Mine too. I've already removed the blood contract with this interspatial ring. You can take all of them. Hu Yi says smilingly. The couple does not care about their collection for 10,000 years at all. Seniors, you. Qin Yu simply does not know what to say. He saved their son's life, so it is normal for them to give him gifts. But to take all of them out like this, he does not know what to do. Should he really take all of them like a gangster? Lien Chong pats Qin Yu's shoulder and says smilingly, "Little brother Qin Yu, don't hesitate to take them. Don't be so cautious. One of your eternal creation pills is equivalent to one life." Qin Yu gives a faint smile and receives the 2 interspatial rings. He sweeps them with his holy sense. Medicinal herbs for refining pills? There are a lot of immortal herbs and Ganoderma growing in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Those herbs have been growing for God knows how many years. Their medicinal effects are much more precious than those in the interspatial rings. Ores. Although there are not many ores in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, they are much more numerous and of a higher grade than those in the interspatial rings. In the Immortal Mansion of Immortal Emperor Yang, some random things are much more precious than these. The reason why Qin Yu took the interspatial rings is to see if there is a top-grade elemental holy stone. If he had a top-grade elemental holy ore, it meant that he could raise the strength of the Sword Immortal Puppet by another level, reaching the strength of a Level 2 Golden Immortal. A Level 2 Golden Immortal Sword Immortal was so strong that even Zhong Ju would have a hard time defeating him. Thousands of low-grade elemental holy stones, dozens of mid-grade elemental holy stones, and 2 high-grade elemental holy stones. This is precious? Qin Yu smiled bitterly in his heart. It seems that I still thought too highly of the Devil Pung Island's elemental holy stone mine. Qin Yu had hundreds of high-grade elemental spirit stones. If someone had a top-grade elemental spirit stone, then he would be willing to exchange 100 high-grade elemental spirit stones for a top-grade elemental spirit stone. Unfortunately, in the mortal world, Qin Yu still hadn't found anyone with a top-grade spirit essence stone. Perhaps Zhong Ju did. Qin Yu handed 2 interspatial rings to Lian Xiao and Hu Yi, while holding a low-grade elemental spirit stone in his hand. Seniors, this low-grade elemental spirit stone is a gift from the 2 of you. Qin Yu said with an indifferent smile. Little brother Qin Yu, you. Lian Xiao and Hu Yi were stunned for a moment. Of course they knew what was in the interspatial rings, but Qin Yu actually only chose a low-grade elemental holy stone. In the mortal world where elemental holy stone was extremely scarce, a low-grade elemental holy stone was considered precious. But compared to the eternal creation pill, it was simply incomparable. After all, the tribulation spiritual pill with the same effect was extremely precious to the Drifting Cloud Island's island master. Hui looked at Qin Yu, and suddenly felt a burst of emotion in her heart. Little brother Qin Yu, are you afraid that we won't be at ease because we owe you a favor, so you took the lowest grade elemental holy stone? Hui asked rhetorically. A single low-grade elemental spirit stone was indeed dispensable to them. The reason why Qin Yu did that was because he wanted the 2 of them to feel more at ease. If Qin Yu had not taken anything, Hu Yi would have been indebted to Qin Yu for a long time. But Qin Yu took it, only a low-grade elemental holy stone. A low-grade elemental holy stone as a reward is enough. But I want to ask one thing. Qin Yu looked at Hu Yi and Lian Xiao and said. Lian Chong patted Qin Yu on the shoulder and said, Good brother, just take a low-grade elemental holy stone. I admire you. Whatever you want to ask, just ask. We'll definitely answer. Hu Yi and Lian Xiao also nodded and looked at Qin Yu. Qin Yu said with a nod, Seniors, I need to do something now and I need a top-grade elemental holy stone to do it. I don't know if there are any top-grade elemental holy stones here. Of course. I'll use my eternal creation pill to exchange for it. I still have a few eternal creation pills here. Qin Yu did not make a large number of eternal creation pills. Firstly, Qin Yu does not know whether the green light spots in Lu Xing's tears are endless or not. If they are limited, it will be terrible if they are all used up. Secondly, treasures, once they are not rare, they are not treasures. Only a small number can increase the value of eternal creation pills. Top-grade elemental holy stone. Hui frowned and said slowly, If we had this top-grade elemental holy stone, we would not need little brother Chinyu to exchange for it at all. We would give it to you directly. It's just that we don't have it. Lien Xiao also frowned and said, Big brother has it, but it's unlikely that he'll take it out. Lien Chong retorted, Father, mother, big uncle is already at the 12th tribulation. Maybe he'll ascend to the demon world at some point. In the demon world, there will be more elemental holy stones than in the mortal world. Why would big uncle carry that top-grade elemental holy stone with him? What's more, I think big uncle treats brother Chinyu very well. Maybe he'll take it out. Chinyu understood in his heart that obviously only Zhongju has this top-grade elemental holy stone. Chong, you're right about one thing. A voice rose in everybody's ears. They saw Zhongju appear in the pavilion out of thin air. There are 4 seats on a stone table in the pavilion. I'm indeed a 12th tribulation loose demon. It won't be long before I ascend to the demon world. This top-grade elemental holy stone isn't very important to me. Zhongju said. Lien Chong said at once, Then big uncle should take it out. I can't take it out. Zhongju said with a shake of his head. Chinyu was startled, but he did not say anything. He quietly listened to Zhongju's explanation. You should know that the load of elemental holy stone in the core area of my Devil Pang Island is the biggest load of elemental holy stone in the entire chaotic astral ocean. And this top-grade elemental holy stone is the core of this load. Zhongju swept everybody with his eyes. Chinyu secretly nodded. A small load of elemental holy stone that is only several tens of li in length may not even have top-grade elemental holy stone. If there is a top-grade elemental holy stone, it is most probably the core. I took out that top-grade elemental holy stone once. But after taking it out, I found that the whole load had dried up. Then when I put it back, I found that the load was slowly producing some more elemental holy stone. Zhongju looked at Chinyu. Little brother Chinyu, this load of elemental holy stone is only a small load. In the demon world, there are so many loads. Taking out a core and hollowing out a load is nothing. But this is the mortal world. There are too few loads of elemental holy stone. If you take away the core, the top-grade elemental holy stone, this load will be called a dead load. If you keep digging, it will dry up. Zhongju looked at Hu-Yi. Second sister, after so many years, have you ever seen the load of elemental holy stone on my Devil Pang Island decrease? Hui said with a shake of her head. No. Zhongju said with a nod. That's right. The amount of elemental holy stone I take out every year is equal to the amount of elemental holy stone that grows every year. This way, this load can be maintained forever. Chinyu understood Zhongju's meaning in his heart. Before I occupied this Devil Pang Island, there were seniors who occupied it. But none of those seniors dug out the top-grade elemental holy stone. It has been like this for millions of years. I don't want this load to be cut off because of me. Zhongju stared at Chinyu. Chinyu understood Zhongju's meaning in his heart and said with a smile, Senior Zhong doesn't need to say any more. This junior understands Senior Zhong's difficulties. Since this load can last for millions of years, then let it continue. At this moment, Chinyu's heart stirred. With a flip of his hand, a transmission talisman appeared in his hand. Big brother, the monkey and I have successfully passed the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation, haha. We succeeded. Haha. Xiao Hei's voice came from the transmission talisman. At this moment, Xiao Hei was obviously very excited. Chinyu, who was a little regretful just now, suddenly became excited. Succeeded? You've both passed the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. That's great. But Chinyu still had a trace of doubt in his heart. Even the 5-clawed golden dragon and the golden-winged great Peng failed to pass the tribulation. Xiao Hei and Ho Fei should be at least high-class divine beasts. Passing the tribulation shouldn't have been so easy. Kaka, big brother, this time my mixed hairy bird was really in danger. Luckily, Uncle Lan's guidance was very effective. The mixed hairy bird and I really succeeded in passing the tribulation. Ho Fei was also very excited at the moment. Only now did Qin Yu understand that their success in passing the tribulation was actually related to Uncle Lan's guidance. Big brother, the monkey and I will come over right away. Where are you? Kuro asked anxiously. Qin Yu and his two brothers were communicating through sound transmission. On the Tenglong continent, the Xiamoists and Xiationists had already clashed. The time was delayed until Reverend Ming Liang questioned Dame Lien Yu about the inkwash painting. In the misty hall of the Inue Palace, the Lien Yu Hall had already exploded. Reverend Ming Liang was grabbing Dame Lien Yu's Yuanying while Wu Hei was furiously rushing towards Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing. You won't say? Very well. Reverend Ming Liang's deep and quiet eyes emitted a terrifying light. Stop. A loud roar resounded through the entire misty hall. Wu Hei rushed over extremely fast like a demon. If you take another step forward, she'll definitely die. Reverend Ming Liang's eyes regained their tranquility. He only gave Wu Hei a glance before Wu Hei suddenly stopped. Just now, Reverend Ming Liang's voice had already resounded in his mind. Reverend Ming Liang looked at Dame Lien Yu and said through sound transmission, "Looks like you're really courting death. If you want to kill me, then kill me. Don't waste time." Dame Lien Yu's Yuanying had a cold smile on her face. Then, die. Reverend Ming Liang's right hand, which was grabbing Dame Lien Yu, suddenly shone. Seeing this scene, Wu Hei became furious. Raising his huge black axe, he charged towards Reverend Ming Liang. Facing such a frighteningly powerful Wu Hei, Reverend Ming Liang only slightly pointed the finger of his left hand. A speck of light. In an instant, it filled Wu Hei's entire field of vision. At this moment, Wu Hei unexpectedly felt death. He hurriedly swung his huge black axe towards that speck of light. The moment the axe hit, Wu Hei felt his body shake violently. Unexpectedly, he could not help retreating several hundred meters and bumping into another palace. So strong. The loose devils from the other schools were all shocked in their hearts. There was no need to doubt Wu Hei's power. Just look at how he was able to suppress Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing. However, Reverend Ming Liang unexpectedly injured Wu Hei with just one finger. What kind of power was this? No wonder he was the spiritual leader of the Xiaxianists. Overconfident. If it was Wu Kongxue who came, I might have given him some face. But you're not qualified. Those thin lips indifferently said words that made Wu Hei so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Reverend Ming Liang was in the center of the crowd of loose devils, but his Taoist robe was fluttering. His tranquil eyes obviously showed that he did not take the person in front of him seriously. Ha ha. Ming Liang, didn't you say that if Wu Kongxue came, you'd give him face? Now that I've come, you'd better let Lien Yu go. A kind of wild laughter rose. At the same time, blood-red clouds that blotted out the sky and covered the earth floated over. At that time in the Nine Swords Immortal Mansion, Dame Yen Ji risked her life only to use a few devil's bloody clouds. But Wu Kongxue only had to make an appearance and there were thousands upon thousands of them. Moreover, Wu Kongxue's bloody clouds even had a strong smell of blood. Wu Kongxue. Reverend Ming Liang's right hand that was about to kill also stopped. He stared at that blood-red cloud in the sky. A red beam of light descended from the sky. In an instant, a silhouette appeared in the misty palace. This person was so handsome that he almost looked like a woman. To be exact, he was somewhat similar to Reverend Ming Liang. They had the same red lips, white teeth and jade-like skin. Only this Wu Kongxue's eyes were a terrifying blood-red color. He was wearing a blood-red robe, which looked like it had been dyed with blood. Long time no see, Ming Liang. Wu Kongxue, you're really lucky to have survived your fight with Hu Yi. Reverend Ming Liang said indifferently. Wu Kongxue gave a brilliant smile. When we were at the 11th tribulation, we were evenly matched. Now we're both at the 12th tribulation, but I still don't know what level your stellar art has reached and whether it can withstand my blood devil path. Won't you know if you try? Reverend Ming Liang grabbed Dame Lien Yu's Yuanying with his right hand. At the same time, his hand shone brightly again. Chapter 236. Seeing the scene of Reverend Ming Liang and Wu Kongxue confronting each other, Wu Hei, Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lan Bing and the other experts all become extremely nervous. They watch without blinking. You two are fighting each other. Release my empress first. A voice containing anger rises. The speaker is an elder of the Inue Palace. Not only him, but other experts of the Inue Palace were also nervous and worried. The number one person in the Inue Palace is Dame Lien Yu. The Inue Palace was unable to contend against the enemy in terms of super experts, which was unacceptable to the Inue Palace. However, at the moment Dame Lien Yu's yuanying is in Reverend Ming Liang's hands. Given his power, how could he possibly care about those nobodies of the Inue Palace? Wu Kongxue and Reverend Ming Liang look at each other. The others don't even dare to breathe loudly. Dame Lien Yu's life is in the hands of Reverend Ming Liang. A blood-red mist starts to spread around Wu Kongxue's body. A terrifying bloody aura immediately covers the entire misty hall. This is the legendary invincible Devil King, Wu Kongxue. The energy in Reverend Ming Liang's body was highly condensed. At the edge of his body, there seemed to be specks of light twinkling. Let's go. Reverend Ming Liang's voice suddenly rang out. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing couldn't help but be startled. However, they quickly came to their senses and hurriedly followed Reverend Ming Liang as they broke through the air and flew away. As for Dame Lien Yu's yuanying, it is thrown to the ground. Dame Lien Yu's body flashes. Who? The spiritual energy of heaven and earth surges and gathers. A figure appears. The body of an itinerant immortal only needed to expend energy to condense. Wu Kongxue, that Reverend Ming Liang was so arrogant as to barge directly into our territory. How can you let him leave so casually? Wu Hei says with a cold humph. Wu Kongxue takes a look at Wu Hei and says coldly, "Oh, could it be you want Lien Yu to be killed?" After saying that, Wu Kongxue immediately walked towards the main hall of the Misty Hall. Dame Lien Yu's face was pale. Even though she had taken some pills, her power was still greatly damaged. Big brother Wu Hei. Dame Lien Yu shook her head at Wu Hei, indicating that he should stop talking. Right then, a fiery light shot over at an extremely fast speed and landed in the Misty Palace's area. This person had red eyebrows, a round face, and extremely small eyes. It was the number one expert of the Yanma sect, Fire Demon. In fact, Fire Devil and Wu Kongxue had rushed back from the chaotic astral ocean together. Only Wu Kongxue was worried that something would happen, so he rushed to the Misty Hall first. In the main hall of the Misty Palace, unexpectedly, Wu Kongxue was not sitting on the main seat. He was only sitting on one of the chairs in the main hall with his eyes closed. The Fire Demon also sat beside him. Dame Lien Yu directly sat on the main seat. Everyone. Dame Lien Yu sweeps her eyes over everyone below. Her gaze pauses for a moment on Wu Kongxue. That Ming Liang directly broke into our Misty Hall. Luckily, Senior Wu Kongxue arrived in the end and saved the heaven-sundering diagram. But now, with Senior Wu Kongxue here, I believe that those Xiaxianists definitely won't dare to come to our Misty Hall again. Dame Lien Yu is resolute. The other loose devil experts also nod their heads in agreement. With Wu Kongxue here, Ming Liang would not have come unless there was something wrong with his head. Even though this heaven-sundering diagram has been saved, there are a total of 3 diagrams. One is with the Dragon Clan and one is with Qin Yu of the Stellar Tower. It's very difficult to get the Dragon Clan's diagram. As for Qin Yu of the Stellar Tower, even though there's a loose immortal expert behind him, now we also have Senior Wu Kongxue here. As long as Senior Wu Kongxue gets involved. Ha ha. Wu Kongxue suddenly laughs. Dame Lien Yu cannot help but stop talking. Everyone at the scene looks at Wu Kongxue. They also do not know why he is laughing. Fire Devil instead rebukes Dame Lien Yu angrily. Lien Yu, Brother Wu came here because of my invitation. How could he be ordered by you at will? Moreover, don't you know how formidable that expert behind the stellar tower is? Even the Xiaxianists suffered losses. How could that expert be easy to deal with? This Yanma school was originally on par with the Inue Palace, but because the Inue Palace obtained the heaven-sundering diagram and was recognized by the Devil Emperor of the Devil World, its status immediately rose above the Yanma school. As the #1 expert of the Yanma school, Fire Devil naturally dislikes Dame Lian Yu. Fire Devil. Wu Kongxue reaches out his hand to stop Fire Devil. Ming Liang himself didn't even get into action to test how formidable that Stellar Tower expert is before he retreated. Him retreating doesn't mean I'm afraid of that expert. Lian Yu, you arrange this operation. I want to see what kind of divine being that mysterious expert is. Wu Kongxue's eyes glitter. His aura even spreads out involuntarily. For a moment, everyone at the scene holds their breaths as if they have seen a bloody storm. Good. Senior Wu Kongxue's words are enough. How can us Xiaxianists be as cowardly as the Xiaxianists? Dame Lian Yu says excitedly. She immediately starts to arrange the plan to fight for that heaven-sundering diagram of the Stellar Tower. Senior brother, why did you let Lian Yu go just now? Given our power, even if we killed Lian Yu, I believe it wouldn't have been hard for us to escape unscathed. On the way back, Reverend Ming Shan asks his senior brother. Reverend Ming Liang says with an indifferent smile, there are many reasons. Killing Lian Yu or not doesn't affect us much. Isn't it just an 11th tribulation loose devil? Moreover, the matter isn't as simple as you think. Do you think Wu Kongxue and Wu Hei's motives for helping the Xiaxianists this time are really so pure? Ha ha. Moreover, given Lian Yu's temperament, she won't be satisfied with just one ink painting. They'll definitely covet the other one. With Wu Kongxue's help, Lian Yu's courage will definitely increase greatly. Maybe she'll even go to the Stellar Tower. I just want to let them feel the power of that mysterious expert. The smile on Reverend Ming Liang's face is still so calm. Reverend Ming Liang. Reverend Lon Bing suddenly asks. Are you really sure that the expert behind the Stellar Tower can resist Wu Kongxue and the others? If Wu Kongxue and the others really obtain that inkwash painting, we'll be in a bad situation. Reverend Ming Liang slowly lets out a breath. If my guess is correct, it's basically impossible for them to get the ink painting from that mysterious expert of the Stellar Tower. Reverend Ming Liang's guess is correct. Those people won't be able to get the ink painting from Uncle Lon. However, Reverend Ming Liang does not know that Uncle Lon has already left. That ink painting is also not in Uncle Lan's hands. It is not even in the hands of Qin Yu. Instead, it is in the hands of a dynasty's emperor, Qin Zheng, who has not even reached the Jin Dan stage. But we can't have any accidents. Given my mysterious technique, once I hide my aura, even Wu Kongxue won't necessarily be able to detect me. I'll follow them alone. You and the others will follow behind me. Once they get the ink painting, we'll be the aureole. Reverend Ming Liang's Stellar Point art is an extremely mysterious immortal secret book. His entire body's energy is extremely condensed. Not only is his attack like this, his aura is also like this. When his aura is condensed and restrained, given his power, experts at the same level as him will really find it difficult to detect him. Ever since this confrontation, the Xiamoists and Xiaxianists have been minding their own business and living in harmony. The Xiamoists use the Inue Palace as their headquarters while the Xiaxianists use the Qingshu Temple as their headquarters. As time goes by, various schools' legendary loose practitioners have rushed back from the chaotic astral ocean. The number of experts in both camps has also begun to increase. Naturally, the Inue Palace's plan has also begun to be carried out. On the Devil Pang Island in the chaotic astral ocean, last time Qin Yu communicated with his two brothers. Afterwards, Ho Fei and Kuro decided to rush to the chaotic astral ocean to meet up with Qin Yu. Qin Yu also decided to leave the Devil Pang Island to reunite with his brothers. At the moment, Qin Yu is saying goodbye to the three masters of the Devil Pang Island and Lian Chong. Little brother Qin Yu, this is my Devil Pung Island's Devil Pung command card. It still has some prestige in the chaotic astral ocean. If you see some blind people coming to make things difficult for you, you only need to take out this Devil Pung command card. I believe not many people will make things difficult for you. Zhongju passes a black command card to Qin Yu. Devil Pung command card? Having this Devil Pung command card in the chaotic astral ocean is almost like having an extra protective talisman. Even though Qin Yu is not afraid of ordinary loose practitioners due to his power, the less trouble the better. Thank you, Senior Zhong. Qin Yu receives this Devil Pung command card. Little brother Qin Yu, you've used the eternal creation pill to save my son. Even though you've taken the reward, you've already taken the reward. Even though you took the reward, it was only a piece of low-grade elemental holy rock. My husband and I won't say much. If you see some blind people, just send us a message. We'll rush over immediately and kill them for you directly. In this mortal world, apart from that dragon clan's leader, there are only a few people who can stop us. Lian Xiao says solemnly to Qin Yu. Hu Yi is a 12th tribulation loose devil and an expert of the devil path. Only Wu Kongxue and a few other people can contend against her alone. Plus her husband Lian Xiao. Even though Lian Xiao is somewhat weak, once the two of them start a formation, their power can even complement each other. When the two of them join forces, they are so powerful that even Wu Kongxue and the others do not dare to contend against them. This is also the reason why the two of them are called the twin Azura devils. Cheng, take us to see little brother Qin Yu off. Hui says to her son. Yes, mother. Lian Cheng then looks at Qin Yu. Let's go, brother Qin Yu. Qin Yu and Lian Cheng fly out of the Devil Pung Island. Flying towards the northeast, Qin Yu and Lian Cheng talk to each other. Even though the two of them have not known each other for a long time, they have formed deep feelings for each other. However, at this moment, "Hi, brother Lian Cheng." A voice comes from afar. Immediately afterwards, a figure in a fluttering white robe appears in front of Qin Yu and Lian Cheng. This newcomer has a kind of wanton and unrestrained temperament. "Xiao Yao, it's you?" A hint of joy appears on Lian Cheng's face. "Brother Qin Yu, let me introduce you. This is the disciple of the master of the Drifting Cloud Island, Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao is very easy to get along with." "Xiao Yao, Xiao Yao says smilingly. "Needless to say, I already know that this is your good brother, Qin Yu. Even though I'm on the Drifting Cloud Island, I've also heard that you have a good brother who even saved your life." "Hello, brother Qin Yu. I'm Xiao Yao. What I like most is to roam the world freely and make good friends. From now on, you're also my good friend," Xiao Yao says enthusiastically to Qin Yu. As soon as Qin Yu hears this, he figures out some information about the person in front of him. Roam the world and make good friends? This Xiao Yao should have a lot of friends in the chaotic astral ocean. Judging from his temperament, he shouldn't be that kind of insidious person. Qin Yu also accepts this person's good intentions. Qin Yu looks at Lian Cheng. "Brother Lian Cheng, you've already escorted me so far. There's no need to go any further." Lian Cheng is startled. He immediately pats Qin Yu's shoulder and says, "Good brother, I know you're anxious to reunite with your two brothers, so I won't stop you. It's just that if you have time later, you must come to the Devil Pung Island and have a good reunion with me." "Certainly," Qin Yu says with a nod. "Brother Qin Yu, you're leaving?" Xiao Yao says in surprise. Qin Yu immediately says, "Brother Xiao Yao, my two brothers have just passed the 9-inch heaven tribulation, so I want to reunite with them. Naturally, I have to leave. We've just met and you want to leave? This." Xiao Yao appears to be somewhat helpless. "Forget it. Brother Qin Yu, let's leave a holy sense imprint on each other's transmitter. If anything happens, we can contact each other through the transmitter." Qin Yu nods and takes out his transmitter. The waves of the chaotic astral ocean cover the sky. Qin Yu is riding the black Qilin extremely fast towards the northeast. He knows that at this moment, Ho Fei and Kuro are rushing towards him. Fei and Xiao Hei have already passed the 9-inch heaven tribulation, so they can transform into human form. I wonder what Fei and Xiao Hei look like now. Qin Yu thinks to himself. Qin Yu is still unable to use the teleportation technique, so he can only ride the black qilin to fly. After flying for nearly half a month, Qin Yu arrives at a cold place. Of course, Qin Yu doesn't care about the cold at all. What is his cultivation base? The middle stage of the Dujie stage. I finally reached the middle stage of the Dujie stage. Qin Yu has a trace of a smile on his face. During this period of flying, the solar core in his body is constantly refining and purifying, finally reaching the middle stage of the crossing calamity stage. Now, the solar core in Qin Yu's body is much larger than before, occupying almost a third of the planet's volume in his dantian. As he continues to fly, it's so cold. Qin Yu can't help but shiver. What level has Qin Yu's body reached? Even Deshang stage divine beasts may not be able to catch up with him. Now his body actually feels cold. That cold is imaginable. Master, there seems to be a powerful expert here. The black qilin says to Qin Yu. Qin Yu also has a solemn expression. I also feel that powerful aura. It seems that there is more than one person. At this moment, Qin Yu is highly concentrated, carefully paying attention to everything around him. If it doesn't affect him, he doesn't want to fight with others. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.